Baka merong sobrang excited dito. Kuya, Sonics.
Why are you showing off your Instagram, bro? Follow him, give him a follow. Hey, wait, did I see a newborn baby? Who showed a picture of a newborn? Are you new parents? Oh, that's cute. Congratulations. Oh, your niece.
Okay.
Congratulations to the family. Hey, make some noise for their family. The super fam just got even bigger.
Right. Should be similar. Uy, can you translate this for us, Mr. Redmark? Medyo familiar naman tayo dun sa Semangat.
Oh, semangat sa Vero. Tell them fighting, fight
We
sa
are
Vero.
from Indonesia.
You're from Indonesia? Okay. You came from Indonesia, alright. Okay, so...
Indonesia jersey.
Oh, okay. So are you supporting Savero?
Indonesian.
Okay. Semangat, semangat. Alright.
Sige, apa kabar? Baik?
Bye.
Baik, okay. Good. All right. So, of course, wait, I'm getting tired, man. I didn't expect to go around. I didn't get that much sleep, but don't worry. Right now, you're seeing the players on the screen, but we're still going around the arena as we go around. Super fam, make some noise! But I'm pretty sure the Falcons won't let up. Falcons Nest, make some noise! We loud here at FPLPH.
Shoutouts to our Indonesian fans who actually flew here to the Philippines just to support their...
Merci.
Merci. Tama ba?
Yeah, right.
I think so.
Dude, I'm gaslighting myself and thinking,
that.
is it bonjour? Wait, no, that's hello.
That's hello.
All right, we're in the draft, and
Okay.
I sort of missed what maps we're in.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a hike.
Medyo hindi ko na-expect na mag-workout ngayong araw na to.
Yeah, it's all right.
Ganun pala yun.
I'm
Shoutout kina Hans at Bri. Akala ko hindi siya nakakapagod. So nakakahingal pala.
Yeah, it is. All right, folks, watch the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Drafting phase. Don't you ever wonder why we have a countdown for the drafting phase?
Oh, no? Well, I guess because of the hype or what? Why?
That's true.
Yeah. Well, we are hyped because this time, baka makakita na tayo ng hinahanap at inakasama-sama natin Moscow. But I think the same set of bands. Blue side naman yun ng Falcons. The hero that they prioritized before was the Kalea, actually. So, there is a big chance na ito yung unahin ng Falcons. Parang dinay nila away from ONIC.
Yeah, and there might be a chance here where we'll see Falcons rectify maybe their pick on the Suyo. Maybe this time they'll go for the Quinn, the Galea Quinn combo we've been talking about.
Pati na nga yung Kalea. So, this is what? Jushin and Claude for ONIC.
I think it has to be. Just lock it.
Just lock it in.
Yeah, you don't even need to like tease whether or not you're gonna pick the Claude.
Siguro ang pwedeng alternative for that is Harley, priority for ONIC.
Okay.
But I doubt it. Tingin ko yung Claude yung safest. Kasi parang tinake away mo na siya sa Falcons. Tapos pwede pa matago yung jungle options mo because there's so many jungle options left. There's still the Suyo, Leomord, as well as the Harley. So, you know, okay, so yeah. So this should be Gwyn.
Yeah, instead of the Suyo or Harley, just pick up the Gwyn already.
Gwyn Harry. Suyo Valentina.
Okay, they're still, they just wanna see if they can attempt what happened in game number. But maybe this time I'll get my wish. We'll get our wish.
We'll get a wish.
And we get to see a Moscow.
A Moscow,
But,
alright.
but I think if ever they have to change something, because earlier, right, they banned Leomord tsaka Fredrin. Kung gusto nila mag-Moscow, pwede naman nila iwan na lang yung Fredrin eh.
Iwan na lang yung Fredrin.
Ban mo yung Leo or just ban Leo Harley.
Leo Harley, I agree with that. I think it's a valid set of bans here for Falcons, knowing na sila yung second pick. So, pwede ko kayang nakalabitin yung katabi na. Meron kasi ako idol dito eh. Naka-sombrero. Pwede kayang tanongin ito anong mga suggested nila picks.
Hindi ko alam kung pwede. Pwede kaya natin.
Parang pwede
Konting sorpresa lang. Pwede ba?
Pwede kaya tang lapitan tong idol ko na to.
Pwede ba?
Boss. Kamusta, boss?
Welcome to the greatest match show of all
Okay lang,
time.
boss.
Ano ba i-describe sa atin sino yung kinakausap natin ngayon?
Actually, feeling ko, pa-introduce na lang po. Ano po ulit pangalan nyo para sa fans? Introduce yourself po.
Ako po si Renmar.
Uy! Parang may something. I'm kidding around. Please make some noise for Coach Yeb!
Okay, so Coach Yeb, meron ka ba dito mga bibigyan mo namin tips? Ano yung tingin mo nga hero na mapipick dito?
Saan ba? Sa ONIC?
Kahit saan po.
Harry Toledo.
Harit, okay. Thank you so much, Coach Ev.
Thank you, Coach Ev.
Very good. Actually, I like that input. Instead of the Moscow na gusto natin, Harit daw ang expect. So ano ang benefit ng Harit, Renmar? It's a good combination with the Kalea because it's, pag Moscow kasi, pag late game ka pa makakakuha ng pantunaw mo na combination with the Kalea. But with Harit, in the early stage pa lang, yung synchropation is already enough for the damage output.
So maybe if ever they're gonna adjust something, it's the Arlon pick from earlier.
Yes.
Again, we did get to see, but it's just kanina, yung Falcons, hindi nila napatawid yung gusto nilang mangyari na mas maaga. Okay, this I like. They still open up the Laymord and the potential Frederick, but it's most likely gonna be a Laymord here.
Kasi fourth pick ito ng ONIC kanina. So, yeah, I like that ban.
Yeah, and looking back, maybe this might make the Arlot and Harith work better than it did in Game 1.
I agree.
Especially for the early.
So, does that mean nakukunin ng ONIC yung Arlot for the denial? Or will they go for a glue this time?
I think I would suggest the glue because with the Valentina there, if they go anything with Arlot, Lapo, those big ultimates, the early game of Falcons looks better, diba?
Parang ganun din, parang biligay mo na rin lang di yung Arlot kasi they will still copy
Yeah, exactly. Except you're just giving it to Haji and then they'll have Arlot plus whatever pick a Flap ends up with.
So, we're thinking about the Leomord.
Expected.
There's the expected pickup. So, it will indeed be the Leomord, Arlot, and the Harith. Ang expect I think we'll double down sa Harith this time, although parang minibish kay Moscow. But yeah, the Harith just makes total sense. With the Suyo, tapos may Kalea.
Isn't this sorrowful? Because you see the Laymord. Or is it tough because it's still a blind pick, you don't see the EXP?
You know what? Parang mas gusto ko na pick over the Arlot.
Right, yeah. Sora, just close with the Sora Harith.
And there's no chance kasi wala nang focus, wala nang Valentina. The worst that can happen is pag kuha ng Hilda itong ONIC.
Yeah.
So that will be a deadly pick. And Sora plus the Kalea parang sobrang taas ng damage output and the crowd control to get out from those two heroes.
A lot of crowd control available for you. What's it gonna be? It's
Okay.
Rizla. And they finally get the Moscow!
There's no chance for a Loyi. And ONIC, maybe ang best option dito is something like a Benedetta para meron kang pang split push. The Pakito being banned means na parang wala ka ng ibang hero na pwedeng counterin yung split push namin from the Moscow. But instead, it will be the Yuzhong. So far, I do like the adjustments mula sa Falcons. Tingin ko, hindi naman to sobrang one-sided, but if I were to choose, Falcons have a more holistic draft in a way na meron silang late game, meron silang split push. Ang hirap nilang habulin sa mapa with the hero composition of ONIC, lalo na nag-decide ng ONIC na gumawa sa isang Yuzhong na pang 5-man.
Yeah, numbers-wise though, lineup rating leads towards for ONIC. I'm a little bit more Falcons in this one, but I think we also have to look for the timing, the early game timing of the Black Dragon form once the Yuzhong hits level 4 and how well Cricket's going to be able to use it and what ultimate Haji is gonna take. All right, it's loading up San Juan Arena. I want to hear you scream. Welcome back, our casters.
Here we go, jumping into Game 3. I'll tell you what, if you guys missed the first two games, Game 1, heavily in favor of one side. Game 2, heavily in favor of one other side. Now, I'll say this, we need a back and forth here for Game 3. And I think the draft, I was a little worried. I'll share my sentiments here. I was a little worried when we were getting through the first phase.
Yeah. Dude, when I saw the Alice, I was like, thank God. Thank God they removed Alice.
There have been changes, to say the least. Even our panelists have rejoiced over the Moscow choice here by Team Falcons because it felt like something that wasn't part of their options for the past few games, but now they finally pick it up.
Which is good because now we have two comps that actually contradict each other. You have a full engaged comp from ONIC with a Gatot, Claude, Leomord, Yuzhong, and then you have a sort of like slow and steady setup with the Moscow split push in the late game.
Yeah, this is one of the cases that we were looking for from one game to another so far, but again, this could be part of the plan, you know, for both teams going through a best of 7. You're now evening it out, you're bringing it down to this, you bring these compositions that actually counterplan to each other. And what we were saying were,
Whoa! It must have been or almost could have been
Hey.
a solo kill right there.
If
Must
he
have been
did
a
not
win.
have,
Yeah, I was supposed to say the win, but you know what?
Must have been the win.
I can't consider that a
No.
win. That literally happened. Everything happened in front of our eyes. So.
No, bring it on.
What?
It must have been the body of Smith.
Oh.
It is.
Passive.
It is actually the body with me.
It's the pat. It must have
Yeah.
been that bod, right? Because that's why he survived.
Yeah, he only missed 1 minion. All Bruce skull.
Can they survive this though? The Unbreakable into the Phantom Steed! First blood is gonna be Kyle. Not so good for Team Falcons. Flap kind of survives though.
Yeah. Good rotations, however, from ONIC. They know how important this EXP lane is for the first turtle. Unfortunately for Team Falcons, they were caught red-handed, still taking the green camp, and then the Leo Mord was already level 4. So now they get EXP prio. Because of that, they get turtle prio as well. And this is the scary thing about ONIC's lineup. They can actually snowball.
Yeah.
Even with a Claude lineup. Because guess what? Next turtle, the same problem is still going to exist. There's a Yuzong, there's a Black Dragon in an objective fight.
One thing you're going to want to take note of for Team Falcons on how they approach some of the early skirmishes, some of the team fights that break out. They obviously, I will say, it's much better that that happens and you have all this action before the first turtle. It can set the pace of a game, but now Team Falcons has to kind of respond to that.
Yeah.
How do they do that, right? Now that Kyle's level 4, Flap, he's probably going to be an integral part of this too. Again, the penalty zone is going to be massive. And at the same time, Haji, this Valentina after Valentina, what can he do with it?
Yeah, but it's going to be a much slower pace for Falcons though.
Yeah.
Flap is not on a similar kind of XP laner like the Esmeralda that we saw from him in game number 2. And the fact that Kirk has forced him to go home in their first meet, that's already a lot for ONIC.
I actually, you know, I like that you brought it up because I think this Trizla, even though as much as I like Trizla, like I call this guy the international placeholder because you don't really lose that late. Oh, wait,
Hold on, thought.
Prince is gonna go in, so is King Kong. Super Marco could not get bulletproof in that one.
Yeah, so this is my big concern with this Trizla, right? You don't really do anything in the early game. Wait, Super Prince, no Purify.
The response from Falcons might just be another punish. They find 2 members instead of Falcons finding 1. Oh wait, Super Prince did go down though.
Yeah, he had 1 HP. He was kind of bait, like he was the bait. He went back for it. I don't know if he needed to die there, but nonetheless, they come out on top of the trade.
Yeah, and then if I can go back to
the Trizla early.
Marco, let me go back to the analysis, Marco. So yeah, what does the Trizla give Team Falcons, right? It's the slow objectives, but because of how the composition works for both sides, ONIC can just go look for other place.
Yeah.
Outside of the EXP lane, because again, they already have the EXP priority. There's basically a dub already on the EXP lane. Go find some moves on the other side of the map, which is going to allow ONIC to pressure the Moscow as well. And because of what we saw earlier, now this Claude is a scaling problem.
Yeah, 2-0 and 1 already. Corrosive Sights locked in. Very strong start for a Claude in the hands of Severo when honestly, you know, you wait for Claude to go ahead and scale up. Well, now you've got an early head start. This is going to be a turtle for the taking.
Yeah, that's a Black Dragon form already. Petrify not used just yet, but it's already going to be enough. Oh, there you go. They finally do. The penalty zone won't be able to convert into much. King Kong secures the objective as they change targets and go for Oakwood instead. There is nowhere to run, and Haji barely escapes, but Kirk goes for the dive.
Woo! ONIC, they're feeling it this one. I thought it was going to be closer, but it all fell apart again before the first hurdle.
Yeah, Kirk got frustrated. I wanted to play Paquito last game, but then you pick it up
no.
Marco!
Oh my goodness, Severo actually made it to that fight. He got the gold.
You know what? ONIC, they got frustrated, man.
They're styling on Falcons.
Yeah, after game 2, they were like, okay, Flop might have been able to dance around us on game number 2. Now what does the Trizla do?
Yeah.
With you on Trizla, there's no explosive movements coming out from Team Falcons. So ONIC, they can just move around the map, constantly look for pickups.
Yep, they're going for this turret first. Ogwen can wait. And now that they've taken this turret, Ogwen is looking to fall next. Kyle, Flap, and Super Marco will be here, but ONIC, that's all they wanted to take.
This feels like Team Falcons just can't keep up with the ONIC Flash is what we called it, you know, when they went through that sweep too. And it's just, they're everywhere they need to be at the right time, and Team Falcons lineup is moving a little bit slow to respond
Yeah.
against ONIC.
And it's not really their fault, because their lineup has to check for a lot of things, right? Number one, where's the Leomord?
Yeah.
But even step number one, they can't even check the box because the first guy that they see, the first or the gacha, which becomes a little bit problematic for Flap because even if he finds the Leomord, even if he counter engages, the Yuzong just destroys the backline.
Okay, Brusco, could he be taken out here? Won't even use the AOG. He's just gonna stand in front of everyone from Falcons, and I agree. Even that one moment where we saw Flap potentially might find an angle, they were just like waiting for him.
Yeah.
They were forcing him to use the penalty zone, but then he still goes down.
And there's no follow-up, right? Because again, Kirk is just on the backside, dealing with the other damage dealers on the side of Team Falcons. Again, look at this. No first contact for Team Falcons. Who do you jump if you're Flap? Who do you use the penalty zone on?
Yeah, this is one of the things though too. You know, he just got the War Axe locked in. He's about 1,000 gold behind Kirk, and Kirk has had a hell of a game already so far throughout this Yuzhong. And even if he's not getting a bunch of kills, it's just the threat of the Dragon Form, and they're doing this for the purple buff. So Team Falcons,
That's a Tsunami Slam committed, but Ogwen nearly went down yet again. A stun from Kyle, but it forces out the third one from Savero, and Kirk! He finds the kill on Flap!
Oh, even with the jump, even with the first engage, they cannot deal with his overwhelming frontline survivability of ONIC. Kirk though, okay.
It's gonna be a trade for Falcons, and they hold on to their tier 2 in mid.
all right, both XP laners go down. That's a trade. I don't know if that needed to happen, but it did, and it's a kill for Team Falcons.
Yeah, I mean they overstayed a bit on the side of Team for ONIC Philippines, but I don't think they're gonna be sad about it. Because look at Savero. He's level 10 against the level 8 of Super Marco on the Moskov.
2K almost
2K on a gold lead. And nearing the Trinity as well on the Claude. This next Lord fight is gonna be a big challenge for Team Falcons.
Yep, looks like Prince is going into that Sky Piercer as well for his next item. This is what we saw him do previously, you know. Gets the utility that a glowing wand also provides him, and that's enough to make it work and be successful. Fight for the buff.
Tsunami Slam and penalty zone get used on Brusco, but was that the right choice? ONIC are just prepared to fight back, even under the turn, because the ball going in! Blazing do it! And they're just pushed back to their base because ONIC is just in their face!
Oh, Prince! He got one more!
Don't give this guy the juice shit anymore. He also just got the Sky Piercer.
Yeah, and guess what? Almost same draft from game number 1.
Yeah.
Same outcome. And Kirk again, what a counter engage. It feels like there's no answer from Team Falcons. This Yuzong last pick is just destroying all reinforcements from Team Falcons. How do you follow up with the Tsunami Slam when there's a big black dragon destroying your backline?
Hey man, you gotta watch out for those dragons from Kirk and anybody else. It's just so threatening to deal with, and now Lord is secured.
Wow.
Yeah, they barely got any turrets too. They just got one tier 1 up top, and that's about it. It's not even a lineup you could also really just convincingly get out of your base with this kind of lead that already exists between you and ONIC. I mean, they do have Super Marco, but it feels like you need Super Marco to get online.
Oh, wait. Okay, Purify at least. They force out on Savero.
They do get a Purify out, so Savero might want to keep things in control. Doesn't have a defensive item just yet, but they do have free reign to go ahead and knock down some of these base turrets of Team Falcons. They get it low enough. Not going to be walking in.
Oh, not looking good for Flap. Uses the penalty zone to escape. But the Sky Piercer and the AOG just blocks off their exit once more. They get to dodge the Petrify from Kirk, but ONIC are in the base. They still have the Lord, and they don't want to mind anything else, anyone else. They see nothing but the base as they secure game number 3.
Once again, ONIC showcases mastery, dominance, in the House of the Dragon from the House of Kirk.
Season 4. That's what we're going to. No, wait, sorry, that's Season 3. That was
Season 3, yeah.
Hey, we're going to Season 4. But man, I'll tell you what, that was as dominant as we saw in Game 1 for them. I thought it'd be a different result because of the draft, man, but no. It doesn't matter, they still come in through with the ONIC Flash.
Yeah, we did get the Moskov, but I don't know about the Teresa again. It just opened up the game for Savero. He became too massive. Same story as in game number 1, and Kurt again on this Yuzong just completely dismantling the front lines, allowing the Claw to just free hit Savero as well. So active with the blazing duets, even sometimes diving the backline alongside the Yuzong, which gives a lot of space and a lot of playing room for the Super family.
Yeah, I swear this last pick Yuzhong changed so much of what we expected to happen in this game.
Yeah. This is, I like to see it too. So Vero's going to be MVP here.
Oh!
He's got him. Oh, man. I've been loving Savero. I'm so glad he's here in the MPL Philippines.
Yeah, dude.
5-0-9. This guy.
While keeping the pace.
He always does. That's what. So it's like a little thing that I just noticed with Savero. Like every time he gets MVP or every time he has this moment with the camera, it's like you see him smile and be really happy, but then he like goes back to serious. And it's so, I don't know, it's just so warming to see.
Yeah.
I feel like he's really set into the Super Fam kind of environment and culture there.
It's a good character, right? Like you get that outside of the game and inside the game.
Yeah.
Guess what? He plays the same way in game. He smiles, okay, I join team fight, and I go back to farming. I go back to brushing weight. I go back to split pushing, and then I see a team fight again. Let me smile, blazing do it, and then I go back. He's a very chill guy.
Because that's his default. That's his default pace.
Yeah.
I love it, man. All season long, I've noticed that, and I'm just like, man, that makes me so happy to see. It also just makes me happy to see him, perform like this, get to a point where he's like, because every single time a Claude is picked up, and the reason why Claude is so dominant throughout our picks and the draft is because Claude scales up really well. Well, hell, when you start early like this, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're still going to scale up, but you just hit that timing way faster here. And also, I would say maybe my second MVP for this was actually Kurt. The Black Dragon form, the way that it started too against Flap that's so solid because, hey, I will say, we saw Kurt make some mistakes yesterday. Today, he's playing out of his mind in a very important match to get to the grand final.
Yeah, and to be fair, even game 2, like he was playing okay. It's just that he was countered. This game, no counters whatsoever. Even though there's a Valentina on the other side, there could be 2 dragons this game, but it didn't matter because every time he used the Black Dragon form, there was always that threat of the AOG and the blazing duet, which is funnily enough wouldn't work if you're not ONIC or if you don't have synergy, because the way that ONIC play this game is they go play front to back and then the Yuzong dismantles the back line. You can just leave the Yuzong on the backside, right? And then just deal with the frontliners of Team Falcons. But what Brusco and Savero keeps on doing is we don't have to worry about Kalea. He's useless.
Yeah.
Let's just kill the Moscow, the Suyos, the Valentina. And because of that, there's no other way for Team Falcons to actually follow up with the engage from Flap, which also made the game awkward for the like again, when do you actually use the penalty zone?
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like before we got into the game, both drafts were relatively honest.
Yeah.
Like you knew that they would most likely go for that front to back approach nonetheless, but
same picks we've seen in
it's almost the same picks as well for Falcons, but
this is a 10 of 35, by the way.
That's the thing. Like we barely, like, they just had what, 1 Lord?
Yeah, this is why I'm saying this is the ONIC Flash, man.
Yeah. Season 14.
Yeah.
Correct.
What is going on?
And that's the last time they met too. Imagine that.
Oh, in the
Playoffs.
The playoffs, yeah.
damn.
This is so, I mean, now it's weird because 3 games in a row we've had very one-sided games.
Yeah.
And this is so different also just from what we saw yesterday.
One good note for Team Falcons, I guess, moving forward in the series, this Zushin Claude, a big no-no.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, especially the Jushin, I would say.
Yeah. No, just.
And maybe, wait, isn't that back-to-back-to-back games for Open on the Kalea? Or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Thinking right? Yeah.
The second one won, but the first and third did not.
Yeah, but it's not because of the Kalea.
It's not.
It's because of the Esme.
Yeah, the Ezra on the...
And also Super Mario flipping in.
Yeah.
And it's always been the Kalea Valen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Where's my Kalea Gwyn? Hello.
After Hanji played so many different mid-lane
Mid-laners.
too, I'm so surprised we're just getting Fallon.
Dude, in regular season, we saw a lot of like Gwyn,
Here's a grinding.
Kalea, and Farsa of Team Falcons. That's why I love them. Like they just knew how to build comps, right? And coming direct to playoff, they go play Kalea Guinevere,
Yeah.
Kalea Valentina into nothing.
Hey,
Hey.
To be fair, I think there was an attempt from Falcons to be just as creative in their opening match in the playoffs too.
That's true, yeah.
But that's the problem. Like whatever they've been trying hasn't been working as much, and they're not really sticking to what has worked towards them.
Midnight, I'm gonna give you this.
Okay,
This is,
sure. Thank you, sir.
From Sim. because
Thank you.
As soon as I hear dude, and I see I hear the gears grinding, you need that. It's purified water that's filtered through volcanic rocks for a crisp, clean taste. That quenches like no other. Quench that thirst. Take that sip, Midnight.
Yes, please, please.
There it is.
Okay, do you need a fan?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Oh
there,
wow,
there you go. There you go.
No, this is a manual fan.
Because people are probably sharing the sentiments, and that's why comfort's important. Thank God for the players over there having the max 5D
Yes, sir.
on stage. That's clever engineering, keeping these teams locked in and no distractions, just pure performance. Brought to you by TG Racing Philippines. We have your back. These are. I always look at these. These are the Swifts. not
Yeah,
the-
Swift X Pro.
Yeah, Swift X Pro. Make sure you guys get those as well. There's tons of pairs to choose from. Also, we're calling all the super fans. If you guys want to go ahead and connect with the most passionate community out there, most passionate out there, scan those QR codes. MPL Philippines official Facebook group, the Superfan channel, and the MLBB official Discord. That's all for you guys.
Get your all-access pass to exclusive content, the latest news, and community discussions. You can lead the conversation and have a chance to be featured as our super fan of the month.
Be part of the FPL Philippines family. Scan the QR code right now on your screens and join the conversation. See you there.
See you there.
You guys can talk about this Kalea Valentina situation.
Say whatever you want.
See you there.
Go.
I'm sure people,
Discuss.
if you feel the same
Don't
way
fight.
Midnight does, just start with, dude.
No. I'm just saying discuss. You don't fight. Just discuss.
Don't.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Start.
discuss.
Don't start a conversation with. Dude.
I mean, that's what you do,
It's so abrupt.
Sorry.
right? That's what he does. Am I wrong?
No.
You know that Midnight's about to make a point if he starts with dude. Like that's just how it is, right? I know someone else wants to make a point. I think later we got a special guest. Let's throw it over to our on-ground panel.
Evas, maraming salamat, Womi, and of course the casters as well on the English broadcast. Redborn Wolf still here. Before we loop in a important guest, I think we just have to ask real quick for Wolf thoughts on the execution, because I feel like drafts were all right with it, but the execution was kind of off.
Parang tingin ko kasi lumaban sila dun sa time na exit na parang safe siya for the side of ONIC Philippines. Parang yung play nung ONIC Philippines ay 5-man. Tapos parang pinipilit nila yung bakbakan dun sa ganitong klaseng realm. So ibig sabihin, yung ONIC Philippines, nakuha nila yung game na gusto nilang laruin.
Yeah, and I think now we have to address a big elephant in the room, which is, no, not me and my obsession with Moscow, but Super Freeze on this Juice in has been stopping a lot of the aggression that Falcons wants to do in the early game, and in 2 games now has led to Owen and or Kyle getting taken down very early.
I think yung Jushin, isang hero na nung pagkakalabas pa lang, gamit na gamit agad yung Super Freeze, automatically banned against them. And the reason why the Jushin wasn't picked there by ONIC Philippines in game number 2 was because of the bans. Tingko dahil sa right side doon yung ONIC Philippines, blue side. Now nga nasa right side sila, nagkaroon sila ng chance na kunin yung hero na yon at sobrang masterful nga naman ng Super Freeze. I think yung way niya na paglaro ng isang Jushin is sobrang aggressive. Nakita naman natin na mataas yung river control nila because of the aggression coming out of from Super Freeze. That's why even with just the Katotkacha, parang napaka-oppressive nila from the mid lane.
Yeah, and that was in the keys to victory earlier, where we said that river control is very important here to be managed, especially on the Falcon side, because that's been one of ONIC's biggest strengths, not just in the... Well, we didn't see that much of it in the regular season. Back then, it was the jumping pattern. It was really in the playoffs. But the more we talk about this, I feel like it's time for us to loop in our very special guest, live from a very iconic setup in Indonesia. It's our good friend Miracle joining us on the broadcast as we loop in. What's up, boy?
Yo! Hey, what's up, boy? How you doing, boys? How you doing?
We're doing good.
Sorry.
No, we're doing good. Yeah, we're doing good. All right, so as everyone knows, FPLID is taking a break. Their playoffs are going to be in the upcoming week, but we just want to get your thoughts on a few things here. First off, how are you enjoying the FPLPH playoffs, man? Thoughts on it so far?
Hey, dude, I mean, it's great. So far, I've been really enjoying it. You know, the viewers have been enjoying it as well on the restream. It's fantastic. I really I always enjoy MPL Philippines, and this season especially, we're 100% mirror blessed. I got all the predictions right. So far it's also very close in the lower bracket finals.
ONIC and Falcons definitely competitive, just trading a lot of one-sided victories. But of course, one of the biggest headlines heading into this preseason is, of course, that big trade. Kelra going to Indonesia, Severo coming here to the Philippines. How has, for people who may have missed out on the action in Indonesia, how has Kelra been?
Dude, Kelra's been horrible, you know. No, I'm joking. Dude, he's Kelra, you know. Like any team he joins, he's going to pop off it, especially because he's an ONIC. He's already in the best team in Indonesia by a long shot, so Kelra is popping off as expected. I think it's more surprising that Severo was connected with the rest of the team quickly.
And speaking of Severo, he's the first import player in MPLPH, and I'm personally impressed about his performance. But how about you? Are you impressed about his performance? What are your thoughts about Severo so far?
Oh, dude, I'm very impressed. I wanted to make a joke, but no, seriously, this guy is special. Like, he's very, very good. Even in Season 15, when he debuted, we were hyping him up so much. We were talking about his potential. But unfortunately, in Season 16, right, ONIC ID decided to go for a ready gold laner. A gold laner who was already matured, who was already complete, and that's why they got Skylar. But yeah, I think Severo, even from Season 15, all of us were saying, the analysts, the coaches, that he can have a higher peak than even Skylar.
He's always been the richest when it comes to the gold lane. So how do you feel about being the richest caster, Virgo? Don't answer that question. I feel like these.
You are the richest caster, Wolf. Pinaka rich. You are Pinaka rich right now. And
So this
another
what it-
Pinaka, if you know, you know.
So this is what it feels like with two rich people talking, and
Oh,
me as a
come
normie,
on.
I'm just here. I'm just like, all right, you guys duke it out.
Oh yeah, kidding aside, Virgo. I feel like it's been. I guess interesting is the word that I would use. It's
Very
making it
interesting.
very chaotic. But what are your thoughts about the regular season of MPL ID?
Dude, it's been amazing. Honestly, I think this is the best regular season we've ever had in ID. Everything was so close except for number 1 and number 9. Unfortunately, those were decided very early. ONIC are clearly the best team. REQ are clearly the worst team this season. But number 2 to number 8, it was close all the way to the final day. We even had a tiebreaker scenario. The fight continued all the way to day number 3 of week number 9. Now V versus Geek Fam to make it a playoff. So regular season ID is amazing. I just hope that the playoffs gives us similar vibes. I hope it's not just ONIC trashing on all the other teams, as usual.
All right, since you already touched on the playoffs, and we know ONIC being ONIC in Indonesia, who's the one team that we should watch out for in the MPLID playoffs?
Renmar.
Oh.
What is this question, man? What is this question? You have the green robots right there. You know, they're choking all the time. We have the red robots in Indo, bro. Bigatron, my goats. Hey,
goats?
let me tell you about Bigatron. Let me tell you about Bigatron, all right? They're pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. You know, they're pretty bad.
At least you're
But
honest.
They're only bad against lower teams, okay? If they're going up against teams that you expect they would smash, they will lose. But if they go up against the top teams, they for some reason show up. I don't know why. We even gave them the moniker of Robin Hood because they steal from the rich and give to the poor every single time.
God.
They were actually the ones to make the tiebreaker scenario and all that possible. So thank you, BTR, for an amazing regular season. Horrible win rate, but again, as I said, it's about beating the top teams. And guess what? No other team is worse than Bigatron right now. So they're gonna win everything, Wolf, Renmar.
Seems like it's going to be a really tense time for the fans of Bigatron by Vitality. But hey,
My goats.
it's time for us to wrap this up just in a bit because the draft's about to start. So this is a two-part question real quick for the lower bracket finals. What's your mere bless? Since you said it's been a bless so far for your predictions.
Okay, so far, predictions have actually been 100%, so I'm gonna go with the same prediction as the video. Falcons 4-3. That's sad because I want ONIC, you know, I want Severo, I want King Kong to make it. But let's just leave it at that. I don't want to curse anybody. I love both teams. They're amazing. And TLPH are already in grand final, so it's okay.
All right, so let's see if that'll be a mere curse or bless. One last. Personally, who do you want to see move forward? Predictions aside, analysis aside, who do you want to see move forward and face off against Liquid and get that ticket to MSC and EWC?
ONIC Philippines. I think I want to see that. After yesterday, like, dude, what the heck? Come on, yeah. I mean, the Sonics are amazing. That's one. And then to see them in the grand finals. Plus, Game 4. Was that not the best game of playoffs so far? And it was ONIC TL, so we gotta get a rematch.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Mirko. I know you have to get back to the watch party, but it's always great to have you here in FBL Philippines.
Thank you.
Say bye while waving and give us a big smile.
See you, GOAT. There you go.
My goals, Pikachu. They're gonna win everything.
That's my GOAT, Mirko! Okay, thank you so much, Mirko. At syempre, ipapunta na tayo sa ika-4 na laro ng ating series na to. And he did say that it will be ONIC Philippines that he wants to see. And I don't doubt that because I think he's a Savero. He's from Indonesia. Savero's from Indonesia.
True.
It's easy to really correlate that. And I feel like itong ONIC Philippines, nagbago sila sa playoffs, Renmar. Hindi ito yung ONIC Philippines na nakita natin ng regular season.
Yeah, well, what ONIC is showing here has been a lot of growth. Whatever the results of their scrims has been leading into the playoffs, I feel like this is what we're seeing. We put a lot of focus on their jungling pattern during the regular season. Here, it's just that surprised, unabashed aggression in the river. Manggugulat lang sila na biglang magpipick off sila, magpo-force sila ng mga laban na 4v2, 4v3. Parang nakakagulat lang ata para sa Falcons. And even for the teams that faced off against ONIC PH so far in this playoffs, that where is this aggression coming from and why can't we read them?
Yeah, I think it's coming from comfort. Kasi, and I say that because they're picking heroes that they have worked with before, like Kato Kacha, tapos meron ka Jushin. So, tingin ko yung pagiging kapisado ng ONIC Philippines, yung ganitong classic plays that gives them that aggression factor. So parang, because you already know your calculations in your head on which heroes you can kill or cannot kill, that gives you more leeway to be aggressive at the right moments.
So, we go back to one of the biggest questions we had at the end of the draft of the previous one,
What's your command?
especially after what we saw. Is Super Friend still going to end up with a juice in? Because I feel like if Falcons want any semblance of control in the center, they have to think of a way to make sure the juice in doesn't end up there. But surprisingly, it's actually ONIC who bans it out. This is something that I've seen about ONIC blue side this playoffs.
Yeah.
When there's a pick where it feels like their opponent needs to address, because they want to pick it, they ban it out themselves.
Yes, so it will be the Paquito. So yung naging sagot dito ng Falcons kanina is still the Kalea. And they combine up with the Claude. And I think that's still a valid decision here mula sa Falcons. Tingin ko magiging sagot doon ng ONIC yung magiging babago na. They will not go for what they did in the game number 2, which is the Hylos and the Valir. So baka bumalik sila doon sa gatot na sa aggressive mid laner. Like Gord, for example. Well, Gord is not an aggressive mid laner, pero parang yun kind of counts like that. Parang yung mga may constant na pressure pa nga. So Falcons, they do have that, the Claude and the Kalea. Pero if ever, they can opt to go for the Kalea plus the Valentina agad. Kung sakali, kasi may chance nila yung ONIC kunin agad yung hero na yun.
Falcon says, we like the Claude, we don't want it to touch the Savero. And instead of picking up the Kalea, they want to pick up the Suyo.
They are keeping the Kalea to Brusco.
Yeah.
And,
You ready for this?
Well, I think ang kanila gagawin naman is Valentina third pick in that scenario. So if you're ONIC, I think you're fine picking up the Harley agad. Harley and Kalea, tapos meron kang Pakito sa gilid, parang sobrang aggressive na pwede yung paglaruan. At the same time, meron ding benefit na kunin na yung gold laner for ONIC Philippines for Savera against the Claude, which typically comes down to Harith or the Moskov.
Yeah. They'd be keen to pick up the Harith again,
There's
but
the Valentina.
there's the Valentina as expected.
And Kalea perhaps.
Get the Kalea. Yeah, it's also one of their comforts. Talk about ONIC and comfort.
Yeah.
That is comfortable. But of course, this is a comfort as well, and it's been great.
Yeah.
And I think this is sort of ONIC telling Falcons, sure, get the Kalea. Yeah, we still lost that game number 2, but I think they're still okay with it. Because so far, it's been 2 games where the rotations early on of the Kalea and whatever pick Haji ends up with, which has been the Valentina, to them, it's not good enough for them.
That's right. So, ang nagiging sagot dito ng Falcons will definitely be yung perhaps yung kanila maaga pick dun sa mid laner like a Gord para dito kay Haji. At the same time, pwede ka rin pumili na ng iyong roamer for Ogwen, which in this scenario, yung Kalea ay nabalik pa sa nila.
Falcons on the red side. I wonder if there's any chance that they're considering a Zedian a little bit later on.
Later, maaga pick dito sa isang Esmeralda. Ang pinaka-proud pa lang sila sa kanila dito is just the Pakito. Pakito has a lot of shields, so it makes sense. However, wala pa siyang directly kina-counter dito apart from that. What ONIC can do is to shift their focus. Hindi na sila mag-Harith in this scenario. Siguro, best na pwede gawin din ng Falcons, mag-ban ng Moscow, mag-ban ng Clint, so that ONIC Philippines will be forced to pick up Harith or a weaker na goal laner.
Here's the thing, though. I think there's a realm that maybe we'll see Severo get a YSS here. And that's why I was thinking maybe Falcons would want to consider Azietian at 4. Because Yisun Shin, as we've seen ONIC do in the past, if ever they're up against a Claude, he'll really hold on to the turtle boat toss of the Mountain Shocker.
So, that is Yisun Chen and perhaps semi-fighter din na goal na roamer, na jungler. Like, Fredrin or Guinevere and Leomord, that's right. Pero kasi may mataas chance maban yung Leomord ng Falcons. Whereas ONIC, ang kanilang pwedeng iban ngayon is their roamer options. In this case, it's going to be the high loss. Probably Hilda na isang or Kalea pa na iban na dito ng ONIC.
Yeah. Oh, seems like ONIC has such a really good pool of heroes that so far Falcons hasn't really been able to answer that. I feel like Falcons is wishing that your wishes came true where we get an extra pad in the second phase.
Ganun na nga. That would be great.
Nahihirapan nata sila eh.
Yeah. Leomord, potentially the man para sa Falcons.
Yeah.
It is indeed going to be the Leomord. So, ONIC, parang may language na dito na nasabi sa atin na willing silang ibigay yung Kalea. But I think pwede pa rin namang ban yun. Apart from the Kalea, yung glue ay potentially din ay pwedeng iban dito ng ONIC Philippines. That could be played in the roam role as well.
Yeah.
It's a safe pick then.
Yeah, and so far this season, Glue has been mainly a roamer. Not really an EXP laner anymore. But hey, you also mentioned the Hilda as one of the bans.
Okay.
ONIC, Falcons at red 4, either they show their mid or they show their roam.
Yeah. May option sila na kumuha ng isang Kimi para safe, but the Gord seems like a valid option din dito para kay Haji. So ang benefit ng isang Kimi is hindi naman din talaga ganun kadaling i-pressure. You can pick up the Wind of Nature para kontrahin yung Pakito later on. And remember, yesterday, this was also the hero that was used by Team Liquid. But it instead will be the Eve kahit ang composition dito ONIC may pang backlines. So now, you're looking for Severo hero na pang late game against this
YSS?
If they do go for the YSS na so far 100% win rate na rin.
Undefeated.
Yep, undefeated. Ang combo nun is isang parang Leomord-ish kind of jungler. So Nolan siguro or a Guinevere.
Okay, let's see what ONIC's gonna end up with. Lots of potential options. As you also mentioned the Clint earlier, and I think that's what Falcons is looking at. Oh, the Lance! Oh, okay, taking a page from Ryzen and Carl Teasy's book.
So Lance had it,
And the
Lance
Moscow.
All right. If you are Falcons, you're gonna be looking for good catch. Maybe this time catch, or what if sila'y mag-Beleric dito sa composition ng ONIC?
With all the dive, with the Valentino on the other side, but the Valentino will most likely get the ultimate of the Eve. You need a solid, tanky front. You don't really need to go that fast, but it just can't be the Esmeralda frontlining.
Tanky na frontline.
Dapat tanky, oo.
Ang kailangan natin dito ng Team Falcons. May option ng Atlas din naman para sa kanila. Atlas Eve, napakalakas na kombinasyon pa rin. Hindi pinantin ng ONIC Philippines dito.
Yeah, that might have to change the idea though for Falcons with the Valentino having a chance to get the links. Oh, I did not think they'd actually consider this on the back of my head, but I have slightly negative feelings about this.
I share the same sentiments. Tingin ko kasi yung Cupra, hindi ito yung hero na kinakatakutan ng mga Lancelot users from before. Granted, meron ka ng bouncing ball for the dashes. I guess, Ipakito hates playing up against this hero as well as the Moscow, but Lancelot hindi ganun kalaking factor para sa kanya. Hindi din ganun kalakas ang Kufra sa metagame natin as much as I want to say na maganda yung mga ganitong klase picks for Falcons, parang mas papabor ako sa ONIC Philippines.
Alright, we're heading on to the next game. Casters, welcome back. San Juan Arena, make some noise!
Alright, not the draft I was expecting, especially the swerve there at the end. But hey, maybe it can work to even out the series here for Team Falcons. A Kufra Midnight, a Kufra.
Yeah, they dove too deep here on the side of Team Falcons. Like, I have a preview of like the top 5 best roamers that they could have picked up. It's the Kalea, the Khalid, the Glucho, and Kaja. We went past the glue and then went straight to Kaja.
What list are we? Where's the Kufra sit there?
Cooper's sitting in top 10.
Okay.
Literally right at the edge.
It's really for what? The Lancelot mostly?
Yeah.
The thing is, even though I do agree with Wolf, like there's a lot of like downsides with picking up this Kufra, but I do think having this tank in the front line with the Esmeralda that opens up the map, you are kind of okay just getting counter engaged on the roll.
And I just love tanks in the front line, you know, because that's the way you got to play it sometimes.
Yeah, because you need somebody to open up the map, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Scooper allows for counter engage against the Paquitos, the Valentinas, even the Moscow.
Okay. And honestly, I feel like even with Falcons occasionally waiting for the opposing team to engage, it sometimes just really works in their favor because then they don't really need to force themselves out in order to put up that box, which I feel like we might see more so now in this game because they finally picked up a different mid lane, and that's going to be the Eve.
Yeah, so we literally see the box.
I just wanted to say they picked something else, but did it sound different to you?
Finally, you know, like I honestly agree, like finally we see a box, right? Like we see the Falcons box.
Yeah. And hey, but that's also partially because Super Prince has a Valentina, right? Mid lane though.
Whoa, bouncing ball stopping Brusco from getting out with the revitalize!
What?
It's gonna keep him alive! King Kong instead finds a double!
Falcons can't just get a break, man, in the early game.
Yeah, so this is the downside of like having a Kufra in this metagame. Like you don't stay in a fight.
Yeah.
As long as like the likes of the Glues, the Hildas, the Khalids.
You literally do like 2 things.
Yep.
Yeah,
You jump on in
and you ball.
and you ball.
That's it. After you ball, you're done.
You're done. You know, fighting for this first turtle. Falcons do have control of it. They'll take it secure. That's fine. King Kong was getting his buff anyway, and he's got 2 kills up ahead.
Yeah, they didn't want to engage because you know the whole game plan for ONIC is just to scale in the late game. They have a Lancelot and a Moskov. Every single objective fight is going to be hard for ONIC unless they take down the Kufu first. So Team Falcons, you know, Owen and Flap around objective fights when they're together, like the tank in the front line with the counter engage with the bouncing balls and also the Titan's Rage, then you're a lot stronger. But if they're split up, ONIC might, you know, find a way to engage.
And so what happened in the beginning was just a bonus for ONIC and them just really gaining an advantage they didn't need to work hard for, because Falcons were the ones who started that, I believe. And so you see how ONIC have been rotating, even just occasionally stealing away some camps from Falcons, but not necessarily into a major team fight that could happen.
Yeah, Falcons do a pretty decent job though, just finding the gold and XP they needed across the map. So despite giving those 2 kills over earlier on, you know, they're still in a really good position. This will ultimately lead them to being well equipped for that next turtle to go ahead and secure it again. And if they can continue to do that, then they put themselves in a good position to allow Super Marco to get where he needs to be on the Claude for this. And hopefully Kyle set things up too. Okay, that's a no-go. That's Brusco. But this is what you expect from Ogun on this Kufra. He's going to see if he can make plays happen. Again, the big ones will happen when he has a flicker. Earlier, he had to burn it defensively, not to go down.
Yeah, that's I would say the benefit of having this composition from Team Falcons is that it's so stable. Like, you just have an overall game plan, a blueprint of how you want to play this game. You allow the Cloud to just scale up. Team fights are very, very methodical. Esmeralda opens up the game, and then the Kufra goes for a re-engage. All the while you have ONIC, this is classic ONIC by the way, the risky composition where mechanics is everything. Like the Lancelot has to find good angles against the Kufra, and then Savera, very sound Moscow player, has to be really profound with his dashes. And then you can also have that amazing steal from a Valentina where if you get a Titan's ratio on Team Falcons, then maybe you get to outplay them.
That's the other thing we haven't talked about too much of, and this popped up even yesterday. You know, Savero, this Moskov is his hero so far. I mean, some of the most crazy plays he's been able to make throughout FPL Philippines Season 17 has been on the Moskov, and you see glimpses of that, so that's always something to take in consideration. Team Falcons starting up the second turtle, fighting for control. Kirk flickering out.
Yeah.
They're fighting for the space. Super Friends holding on
Oh no, jump.
to his own Kufra ult here. Brusco's pretty low.
Oh!
Pops revitalize.
Yeah, ONIC want to fight this time. Super Prince used the IMU already though, but that was the space they were trying to create, but they still fail to take the objective for themselves.
Retry from Kyle on the Suyo, not even hitting the turtle, and that actually has an advantage because you know your Retry is much bigger compared to the enemy jungler, so Falcons played that chill. Even though it looked like ONIC was gonna outplay them, they played it stable. Again, it's just a blueprint gameplay from Team Falcons.
Yeah, they continue to do that for now. Around the objectives, this is also just kind of what you expect with this kind of lineup. Like you mentioned earlier, Brigitte, this real-world manipulation with the Eve is great for Haji to kind of play around. So for ONIC, it's more so of how do we approach these team fights in a way of getting the advantage or the upper hand, of being able to pull back if we need to when the RWM is dropped down. And, you know, that's something that can help them secure a team fight. Also, they got to get in position to be able to do that. Now, yeah, Lancelot can go ahead and maneuver through those fights and everything else, but that's why potentially this Kufra is such a good pick, the counter pick, to kind of help alleviate some of that pressure that a Lancelot will do, even to an extent the Kirk on the Paquito.
Which makes the choice for Super Prince much more interesting, I feel. Because earlier when he picked up the Tyrant's Rage, I think it was just a way to get more space or buy time, but not directly through like creating space. It was just holding down one member. And speaking of holding down one member, Brusco, forced to use the Revitalize, gets to take the Unbreakable and stun Flap, but Flap is still alive! King Kong goes for the chase, though he's gonna get pulled from Severo, joining in at the perfect moment. Kyle looking to be next, but he gets back to safety.
Dude, so Severo doesn't miss these SODs, and another double kill for King Kong.
Yeah, this is again the advantage of this comp from ONIC, the outplay potential. Even though it looked like Falcons were the ones dictating that tempo of that fight, Brusco held on. He was like, guys, I can sustain, I can regenerate, we can fight. And then the SOD came out from the Golden Boy. Oh my lord, the outplays are actually real. Team Falcons, they're now starting to feel the pressure.
Okay, no SOD for Severo this time, but they get a turret even before this objective, which ONIC might have just let go.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's just Brusco right here. Olwen doesn't have the Tyrant's Rage either. So that was just about it. A bit of info, but they still split up.
Yeah, look at top lane though. They don't care. Again, they're just looking to trade here for ONIC. They're waiting to scale up as well. So from the POV of ONIC, if you want to farm, sure, let's go farm. Because again, we get to the point where we can outplay you with this Moscow from Severo, and we've seen that even up against TLPH. This is not a problem for ONIC.
Be in trouble?
Oh no.
Oh! Massive, okay, SOD doesn't laugh at the Tyrant's Rage! Coming in from Ogwin, made sure that Kirk could no longer run. Brusco getting slowed down, but he will still survive.
Kyle?
Yeah, great pickup. Kyle, oh, he's going for Severo, not going to be able to get him. Good pickup by Falcons, RWM.
Oh, that's a stolen RWM, but they see Ogwin charging, would not want to risk it.
Yeah, that's a good force on the side of Team Falcons. Even though ONIC sort of overcommitted onto forcing that trade with the SOD, I don't think it would have been a good choice anyway. They would have been fine with just quick pushing the map, put Moscow on top lane, let the last of the farm. And Team Falcons, again, this is the way they want to play this game. They just go play blueprint.
Oh,
Force.
Brusco didn't land that AOG onto anyone. Wasn't even able to create enough space. Kyle will go in. They take the Q on him in, and Super Marco will find Kirk.
Wait, what was the play there? I mean, you got both splits happening on top and bottom. I'm wondering what did he just want to clear out the waves and maintain the turret or what?
I don't know, man. Again, they're losing sight on what is important. Just farm. King Kong though. Oh, the dodge!
Kyle will be okay. Falling star mode from Flap, but the fight ends there.
All right, fight ends there. Again, mistake made by ONIC. So in this case, Falcons keeps control of the map, keeps things in pace for them, and they're built up for a really good take up as First Lord, unless ONIC wants to fight it.
Again, Team Falcons, they can actually just force any fight that they want. They have all the kits in the world. The real world manipulation, Esmeralda opening up, and the Kufra with a counter engage. They just have to be wary of the outplay potential from ONIC, especially with the dodges from King Kong. He dodged one Tyrant's Revenge on the Kufra earlier, so should be just you know, be on point with the time against OD though.
Okay. It's still gonna be Falcons taking this first Lord. Brusco doesn't look like he'll get out of this. King Kong 2 will get punished. Winter Crown already committed. Brusco somehow finds his way out as Kirk will just try to clear out this mid wave.
Severo's he's knocking down turrets though. This is one thing that Falcons have to maintain.
Yeah.
That's a shield that gets bursted down too with that push that Severo's able to make happen. They want to make sure that they keep tabs on him. Yes, they've got the Lord. They can charge in towards the base here. But someone's going to have to go ahead and deal with this split pushing that's happening.
Yeah, I thought Ogrin was gonna flicker on to the Moscow earlier. This guy has no Purify, by the way, so ONIC should be careful and should be concerned where the Kufra is coming from, because again, there's a lot of like ways for Falcons to just force a fight, engage, and jump on targets that they want to go for.
Yeah, Brusco has to really block off these Tyrant Revenge jumps
Oh, they got the box.
from Ogwin.
Super Marco is massive right now too. 2,000 gold ahead of Severo. He's looking to go guns blazing when these team fights happen. So shield will go down in the mid. Super Marco also picks up the Wind of Nature now. So they're in great fighting form, and this lineup is going to let them kind of force a fight into the base if they want to.
Hachi using the RWM. The Kong goes in, Phantom Execution, AOG2 only lands on one, and the Unbreakable on Kyle as well. And they hold on to their tier 3 in mid. That's just a few hits away from being taken down though.
Yeah, bit of an, I would say over defense from ONIC. They committed the AOG with stolen real word manipulation to clear the wave. They didn't punish the Kufra, however, they did force out the flicker on Haji. So maybe they use this time to force Falcons, but the thing is, again, this block from the Esmeralda is kind of annoying.
Thorn Rose gets to dodge that Tyrant's Revenge! Ogwin might get punished here, but Super Marksman then goes in! He gets pushed back just a bit and is forced to BMIF, but the SOD makes it inside the Venom in the play! He finds the kill on Super Marco, and he almost made it out of there alive!
There's King Kong. He can go back.
AOG gets dodged by Kyle. Kyle is still alive, but Kirk goes in with a knockout strike. But Kyle is in for the outplay!
Without Severo, ONIC falls apart in the team fight.
Oh, King Kong!
It's with the Thorn Rose. But it's King Kong all alone. Super Friends will make it though, but they'll probably lose all, or this second base turret down bot.
Oh my lord. It was almost an outplay for ONIC. Again, this is the strength of this comp. But Kyle says, no, we can outplay too. That blade surge dodge on the AOG, able to take out Kirk afterwards. And because King Kong didn't have enough HP, he wasn't confident on going back, especially because they lost the vision on Ogwin.
Yeah.
And now Team Falcons, they get the control back, they get the tempo back, but man, again, this pressure, man, from ONIC Philippines, Team Falcons, they have to be careful with this Severo Moscow.
Oh man, if you fight for this Lord, ONIC's going to just be pushed off of it, so they have to go ahead and find themselves in the defense once again. You know, I almost think, what if Severo had enough itemization for that fight, if he had a Wind of Nature or something else, eventually he's going to get there.
Yep.
And Falcons are going to have to watch out for that setup again.
Yeah, imagine they had to burn everything. Even Ogwin had to flicker on top of the Moscow because he was dealing too much damage. He was dismantling this formation from Team Falcons after taking out that Claude. So again, these are the things that Falcons has to worry about, the positioning of the Moscow. 10 seconds without flicker though.
Okay, Ogwin has an immortality too. Might go for some more riskier plays if he wanted to. And he's gonna jump on King Kong! Thorn Rose keeps him safe! And now they get to buy enough time to at least deal with the Lord for now.
AOG?
Goes in with the AOG though. Is it just more space too that they want to create? Because it seems like they're going in for the punish. There goes the falling star one in the real world! Ogwin fights multiple members, but he is not back! Spear of Misery! Keeping him safe! And the knockout strike to finish the job, but it's Super Marco! Wanting to find Kirk!
He finds him now! SOD again!
Severo once again, can he do it this time? He did not! Kyle takes him out!
Oh my god, outplays after outplays. Super Marco was able to flicker out, but Falcons, they're not done yet.
They're gonna wait to push in. Fritz and King Kong!
Marco's alive, they jump in. King Kong just wants to make sure the minions are out. He does get taken out of all sides though, and Falcons bring us to a 2-2
still soaring, never giving up, despite the outplays. They come up with a macro and an outplay of their own.
We've evened out the series. It's been a back and forth all evening long. A hell of a way for this lower bracket final to break out, man. Whew. Hey, and it was great to see a bit of a different draft here.
Yeah, refreshing.
A little refreshing, like sip. You know, but this one wasn't filtered through purifying volcanic rocks. But I'll tell you what, this is one hell of a game to bring in for this one. And there were moments, there was glimpses. It looked like we've seen before, especially with Severo and this Moskov. But Falcons held strong. Damn, Kyle had some outplays, by the way, on the Suyo.
Yeah, the mechanics came through for Team Falcons. Even the flicker from the Kufra, you know, they had to use everything at their arsenal. Because the thing is, if they didn't, ONIC would have been able to run away with this game, especially with the amount of outplays Moskov or Severo outputted this game. The pressure was definitely on, but Team Falcons held on. They played a blueprint game, and they went on to protect Super Marco, who is the MVP of game number 4.
That was four.
It is 4, yeah. I forgot how many games we've had now so far, because this game is amazing. Like, I actually forgot the first 3 games.
Oh yeah, it's because the entire series has been a back and forth. And yeah, these 2 gold laners we're seeing right now have been pulling off some insane moves all throughout the series.
Yeah.
There were just so many almost instances for Severo in that last few minutes of that game.
That's why I like that we highlight between these two, or just in general, like this whole golden royale going on between all the gold laners right now, because you're really seeing a lot of those moves, a lot of those highlights from the gold laners out there. And Super Marco with a flex, he flexed through this game, and just he pumped out a ton of damage for these team fights for Team Falcons.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, like, ONIC, they had a lot of like answers against Falcons, but realistically they were almost all outplays, right? Like it had to come down to micro mechanics. All the while for Team Falcons, everything was so much simpler for them. Like, you just layer the Kufra on top of the Moskov, prevent them from like moving. But even then, despite all that, Severo was able to find good jumps, good positioning, good dashes, good spirit miseries. But it came to a point where the items were also too much for ONIC to deal with, especially with Super Marco juggling through Wind of Nature's, Immortalities. It was this moment, right? Like, ONIC forced a fight against Team Falcons. Even after the reload manipulation, they were still looking for outplays after Brusco jump. It was that Spirit of Destruction from Severo that landed on the back line. He saw Haji, but he was like, no, you're not the target. The target is Super Marco. He flickered in for the Spirit of Misery to land. But I think that extra dash actually was the downfall of display, because after that, Super Marco was able to flicker out, swapped the items, went for the Wind of Nature, and then bought the Immortality just to make sure that he doesn't die in the fight. Man, what a crazy game.
So could it have just been Severo taking out Haji instead and not changing his target on Super Marco?
I think he could have taken out the quad if he didn't dash.
Still, even if he didn't dash?
Yeah.
Because the Wind of Nature was also gone.
He
used it before.
Because it took a time for him to be able to dash out. But if he just continuously hit the Claude, I think he would have been able to take out Marco first, and then maybe Haji. And that's the risk, right? That's the risk you run when you build compositions like this. Like, it's down to micro mechanics. Yeah, sure, there's macro aspect to this draft from ONIC, like slow push, the opposite lane, and then the re-engage with, the gacha. But you also have to consider that they have to be on point with these jumps, with these outplays. Because for Falcons, it's as simple as like, okay, I press ult, you go.
Yeah, that's why you were mentioning, it's this lineup from Team Falcons that's very consistent, very kind of standard the way that it works. Whereas we saw ONIC where a missed jump or a mistimed jump or a mistime in entry point, even from Kirk or King Kong, it just wasn't going to happen against this kind of lineup. And that mistiming ends up, backfiring against them. And it just felt like, again, the majority of the damage that we saw was coming out from Severo, obviously on the Smozkov. But even when you took him out of the picture, it seemed like there was almost no chance for ONIC to win a team fight. That's just kind of the way the nature of the composition felt. And that's why I'm saying, there was a couple moments in that game where it's like they either trying to hold on to the turret or went in for a jump, and you've got a split happening on both sides of the map. So you're outnumbered. I'm really interested on like why ONIC chose to do some of those moments in the game, but nonetheless, great victory over Team Falcons because they needed to have a bit of a change after the previous game, and I think this was enough. Ogun making the Kufra work, who's a hero that's not typically on a lot of the top 5 lists, like your own, you know?
Yeah.
He ends up making it work.
Yeah, and it's also on the back of Flap just being that very reliable tank front line for Team Falcons. Because again, like one of the I think issues of course with the Kufra as well, we don't really get to see it because it's a playmaking hero, but it doesn't really allow you to be out there as much.
Yeah.
You're always coming from an angle of surprise, and so you have to have someone else to do the job for you to just be the information taker or to scout. But Flap was reliable. I think we barely got to put any highlight on him either in this game, but he was just consistent all throughout that game.
Again, it's a blueprint, right? Like you just go play stable, you jump, you use ult. If they outplay you, it is what it is. You know, it's just the sole job of the Kufra, which I think is what we said after the draft, right? After we we broke it down during the on-ground panel. Like there's a reason why this can work. Like you just act the stability or the pillar of stability for our Falcons, where you see Lance, you see Paquito, you see Moscow, just jump. If they outplay you, it is what it is. You know, good for them.
Yeah, it was a different game nonetheless, but still the results are there for Team Falcons. Here's a question: Is it going to be the Titans in Paris or the rivals in Paris? Because this is where we're headed with whichever Team Falcons or ONIC that makes it to the grand finals against TLPH.
We're down to a best of 3, guys. This is the battle for greatness, for the glory, and after this, for immortality in the grand finals. Because again, Immortal Cup.
Immortal what?
Immortal Cup.
Immortal Cup.
So this is for glory, battle of greatness. Like all these players are great, but they have to prove that they deserve the spot to be in the grand finals to deserve the chance to fight against the greatest.
Yeah, and the things that they want to prove, they both really have such meaningful backgrounds prior to the season, which really wants to make you root for both of them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tricky to be in the spot where you see them in the lower bracket finals, because imagine everything that ONIC has been through preseason, the doubts that they had to prove wrong, and even for Falcons who've been not soaring that much in the previous seasons. And speaking of soaring, see this is a recap you're seeing right here.
This is interesting though. Falcons have not yet won in the lower bracket finals since becoming a best of 7.
Yeah, and the last time they won an MPL, if I'm not mistaken, was season 12.
Well, yeah, I think season 12.
Yeah, since season 11, there's only been 3 champions, which is funnily enough the 3 teams that we have
that are left. Yeah.
And they weren't really Falcons back then.
Yeah, so this is like the legacy that they have to endure, right? Like they have to soar past these legacies, even in the storyline that we have with Falcons and ONIC, like going past the TZ mantle, going past the gold standard. They also have to go past the achievements for the last 3 years of mlbb.
Oh, that's exactly what we were just talking about. This is the triangle of power here that we've had throughout our FPL Philippine seasons.
Oh, this camera work.
The camera is great because you're going to look at all the flags that have been hanging here for all the champions throughout the seasons and the years, and look at that. You know, you're so close to seeing more history made by potentially Team Liquid being the very first team ever to go back to back to back for championships.
Yeah, W Prod, by the way. This is amazing. This is amazing camera work.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's great.
It's kind of terrifying though. Like that history graphic we saw just now.
3 teams.
Whenever we went to a best of 7 in the playoffs, in the lower bracket finals for Falcons, it's always been them stopping at 2 game wins.
Yeah.
And we're at that point right now, so
they're at this point.
Yeah.
So there is a chance. Hopefully they can pass the limitation.
Move past that. That's the first step. Moving past.
Am I crazy? Or since season 11, TLPH has only missed 1 grand finals? Holy what the hell? Season 14, brother. Fnatic ONIC against Aurora.
That's what I'm saying.
Season 14, yeah.
Yeah, every grand finals.
Every grand final.
Echo's there, Liquid's there.
Yep.
It's like Call of TZ saying the same thing to all the stats.
And this
I have to be there.
Basically, he's in all the stats. And that's why sometimes, some people are like, man, why do they talk so much about TL? Why do they talk so much about Call of TZ? Look, I mean, the stats are there, man.
We're looking there because the banners are there.
Yeah, the banners are there. The storyline is there, you know, and it's just, they've been so dominant.
Yeah, apparently we don't glaze enough.
We gotta glaze more.
Yeah.
We might as well just make a Team Liquid glazed donut. Like, what would that be like?
Dude, 3 years!
Please don't.
Liquid's been there.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
You know what? We'll let the on-ground panel glaze some more. Let's go ahead and throw it over to Renmar and Wolf to break down our next draft.
Thank you so much, casters. Historic is the last 3 teams in our playoffs, and even this matchup between Falcons and ONIC Philippines. Crazy. It seems like the pick that we're not the biggest fan of ended up becoming a not scapegoat, but it helped them out. The Kufra helped them out.
Tapakita natin yan dito sa isang na pinrepare ko. I would say na itong laban ng ONIC Philippines versus Team Falcons, baka hindi na siya about sa draft ng Redmar. Although, of course, some teams will have their advantages and disadvantages according to the draft. But overall, I feel like dahil sa execution pa rin on how experienced these championship caliber teams are.
By the way, para sa ating super fans na nanonood live dito sa Champions Arena, you can vote kung sino ang favorite nyong MPL Bros.
Ganyan lang ang QR code na nakikita nyo sa LED. Ayan, ang ating mga ranking so far. Cast your vote. Kaya naman sa mga super fans dyan, if you haven't watched live dito sa Champions Arena, ito na ang site para sa inyo.
Head on over to ph-mpl.com/tickets. Habol na rin for the tickets so you can join in for the voting. So far, for the poll of favorite MPLPH Season 17 player, it's Carl Teasy in the lead.
At malapit dyan itong si King Kong. So siguro yung mga super fans natin dito ng ONIC Philippines, they can also chime in para makahabol itong si King Kong.
Don't forget, just the QR code will be shown, and then at the same time, you go online as well. So, as we're heading into this one, we got a play that you want to break down?
Oh yeah, eventually ba gusto ko ipakita itong ginawa ng Team Falcon sa kanilang pag-siege ng Torre ng ONIC Philippines. Unfortunately, ang pinakasikat dito, so far, si Flap, ayan, tsaka si Super Marco. Umaangat ko kay Flap at masasabi ko na sa game number 3, Flap was amazing. I think there were so many times na nasulit ko itong Esmeralda, third pick Esmeralda, mga kaibigan, ay naging sulit. But, of course, let's take a look at this clip. The siege of Team Falcons, granted lamang sila dito. Pero, magagawa ng paraan ni Savero, yun nga na, merong isang Kufra na haharang sa kanya in the end. The natural counter, which is the bouncing ball. Makita natin yung napakagandang pagtalon doon ni Savero sa may likuran. But because of the fact na nandito si Ogwen, para mapigilan siya with that conceal and that flicker bouncing ball play. And I believe na kinombo rin niya to with the Tyrant's Revenge, which is the first kill of that Kufra. It was able to stop sa Savero dun sa may backlines. Parang pwede nang ubusin ng Savero, mga members ng Team Falcons. Pero yung low HP with the flicker on this Kufra, it was enough para makontra yun.
Yeah. So, for those wondering why the Kufra to us was a pick that we were worried about, I think it boils down to something that we saw in the early game, which was it was very highly punishable. There are a lot of moments very early on where all going to go in, try to Tyrant's Revenge, and if it doesn't land, and even if the times where it did land, ONIC were ready to answer back. But then once Falcons were able to get their farm, and especially Haji's cover with the Starfield, with the real-world manipulation, and I think that was one of the things that maybe very slightly overlooked. Haji's timing with his ult actually saved Ogun a couple of times.
And I think yung sinasabi natin about this Kufra na may konting reservations tayo because it doesn't stop the Lancelot. We did preface it by saying that it can stop the Moskov as well as the Pakito. At masasabi ko, yung Pakito ata, yung pinaka nahirapan dito sa laban to. Parang hindi natin nakita na kinaya ng isang Pakito na maging Pakito sa game na to. Parang hindi niya nagawa yung gusto niya gawin. Kirk was kind of nerfed in this scenario because of the presence of that Kufra. In the early stages, hindi ganun kahirap para sa isang Pakito yung kontra ng isang Kufra because that's the nature of that matchup. Pero nang pagdating na ng mid-game na, yung presence na with the flicker, with the conceal at the first 2 items na meron isang Kufra, enough na siya para mailang si Kirk.
We're seeing Super Marco on our screens right now. And of course, this is the penultimate battle of the Golden Royale.
Ooh.
Super Marco versus Savero. Average kills for the season, 1 and 3, but of course, as you look at the numbers, you also realize that so many stories between these two of clutch moments throughout the season kung saan Super Marco suddenly will show up for Falcons just when they need them. Exactly what happened earlier. Savero, we saw it earlier today as well. These two have that clutch G.
Yeah, this is the penultimate battle, pero parang pang-finals yung galawan nila dito, pang-huling
Homsi.
laban ng Golden Real. Imagine this, number 1 and 3 sa average kills, number 2 and then number 1 sa average KTA, GPM number 1, tapos number 4, then the number 3 sa damage per minute, and then number 2. And look at this, number 2 sa average turret damage is Savero, all across our players here in MPL Philippines. Talk about making a lasting impact sa dalawang players natin na yun.
It's really good to see that in FPL Philippines. Of course, there were a lot of questions, a lot of doubts whether or not an import from Indonesia would be able to make it here. He made it work. Even shout out to Coach Aon. The questions of will an import coach from Singapore, will it work out? It did work out. So imports do have a home in MPL PH. Well, as long as you put in the work, and the gentlemen that I have mentioned have put in the work.
Alright, so I believe that we have crossed all of the maps already. So babalik na tayo din sa a randomized map.
Yeah, it's a randomized selection now on
Of
moving
all
forward
maps.
of all the
Alright.
maps.
So there you go. It's Broken Walls again, but this time randomized draw. The last time that we went to Broken Walls, it was Falcons who won it.
So the thing about Broken Walls, especially going up against a team like ONIC, who loves to pick up those assassins, one less dash.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is actually going to be a very dangerous game for Falcons to play with the aggression of ONIC PH. There's a lot more room for them to work with to invade and surprise them with early game aggression.
Broken Walls. Oh, it was a map na talagang nilalaroan ng mga utility junglers, like yung mga tipong mga Fretlin and everything. So this could also be that. Pero honestly, pwede mong i-treat kasi yung Broken Walls na parang neutral map eh. Parang wala naman talagang distinct advantage. Or siguro magandang palette cleanser dito para sa dalawang teams natin when it comes to their picks. Alam mo, sana magkaroon ng difference when it comes to the draft patterns of both teams kasi parang parehas na parehas from the past 4 games natin.
Yeah, it's been getting quite predictable, except of course for the surprising picks here and there, but a lot of the central pieces, especially in the center of the map, which makes a lot of sense. I think that's been the story for a lot of the teams in the regular season, but then maybe a few more surprising selections as well. So yeah, we're gonna be seeing the countdown on the screen, and who's excited for the draft? Ooh, let's go! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh. I think it clipped me right there in the back.
Buti ka na.
Oh, my back.
Okay ka lang? Okay ka lang?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Di naman tayo sinabihan.
Yeah.
May babagsak pala doon.
I know we've been seeing that all throughout the broadcast, but I wasn't ready for it. I think the W got me.
Oo nga eh.
How ironic.
Masyado yata tayong napa-analyze doon sa previous
Okay.
map natin. Alright, so heading into this game number 5.
What's your command?
It's going to be Falcons dun sa may red side, and it's ONIC on the blue side. At what they usually first pick is the Paquito, but they themselves will bet this out. There is a chance na Zushin first pick for ONIC.
I think they go for it.
I think
If it's available, just
Dito
do
na eh.
it. Because so far, it seems like rotational-wise, we're not even talking about picks. We're just talking about how it's played.
yeah.
Ogo and Kyle and Haji look like they're having so much difficulty going up against the Juicing of Super Friends.
That's right. So the 2 times na napunta sa blue side ng ONIC Philippines, what ended up happening is they pick up the pick up the Paquito. That's right. And sila yung nagpapan ng Zushin themselves. Third ban nila yung Zushin na yun. Dun sa games 2 and 4. And sa ngayon, ang kanilang option is to go for that Paquito. So this should be the Zushin first pick para sa ONIC Philippines.
Makes so much sense for them, of course.
Do you go back doon sa Suyu Claude if you're Falcons or Suyu Harith?
I think for Falcons, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the Claude here.
Claude, alright. Claude
Yeah.
Valen?
Yeah, they were able to make it work. And plus, I think now I'm more in the mindset of I don't want to give Savero the Claude.
Yeah, for sure. So, ang hula ko dito para sa Falcons ay Claude plus the Valentina. Pero meron ding option na may linya din na Claude and Suyu. But instead, it's Claude and Eve.
I think, okay, so I think they're realizing some of the early errors or punishes that ONIC has been doing maybe could be answered by the Eve, as we said earlier, with the Kufra. Once Eve hit level 4, and then once Falcons started rotating together, a lot of the ultimates of the Eve actually helped out Ogwen, helped out Kyle even when he would go in for his later entry.
So, ang nagiging configuration dito para sa ONIC is kuha na sila ng juggler nila, either Harley or Leomort or Suyu. I'm feeling hierarchy-wise, Harley tapos Suyu and then Leomort. Tapos ang combo nila doon is typically the Khalid. There is the merit to get the Katotkacha or the Kalea, and indeed it will be the Kalea. Tapos Leomort ang kanilang pinili dito para sa ONIC Philippines. In the presence of Suyu and Harley, parang eto na, dito natin matutuldokan. Leomort ang priority ng ONIC Philippines.
Yeah, and every time we've seen ONIC run this kind of composition during the regular season, it's a lineup built to take control of things early. Once Brusco hits level 4, imagine 4 members of ONIC just sticking together, looking for picks in the river, getting out, handling the macro at the same time. Yes, I know that sounds like it's a lot, but they make it work.
So does this mean Suyo para sa Falcons ngayon, or will they go back to the Fredrin?
Oh, actually, yeah. Fredrin is something they might want to consider here because the Suyo is highly punishable here. I think the extra body on Fred will work as long as Ogwen and Flaps heroes can also hold the front line.
So they go for the Suyo. Nandito na tayo sa point na bata-bata na ng damage versus damage from the juggler's position. And interestingly, Falcons can now choose to limit yung mga heroes dito ni Savero. So Moskov and Harith potentially bans para dito sa Falcons.
Let them play the hero.
They got the usual. Well, yeah. Well, with what Kurt did to them earlier on that hero, it's a warranted ban.
Oh, so far, parang ito yata yung game na masasabi kong in command totally ang Falcons. They don't have to be crafty with Esmeralda kasi wala namang pakita na available para sa ONIC.
Yeah.
Although pinigay nila yung Zushin ng ONIC dito, parang prepared sila, especially with the Fusong ban. It kind of tells me that they have a different approach. ONIC will ban the Atlas. Good ban overall. Siyempre, mahihirapan naman yung Zushin at Kalea mamaya kung sakaling Atlas yung mapili dito na Falcons.
I think one of the biggest trades here now is whether one of these two will ban out the Alice, Uranus, just so... Oh, wait, no. ONIC doesn't have any room anymore to ban out either, because if ever the Alice ends up for Falcons, then you'd want to just put Kirk on the Uranus there, which would be a good thing in the long run for what Falcons wants to be able to achieve with their lineup.
There's the Katotkacha ban. Tingin ko pwede yung ONIC na kumuha ng Sora plus the Sora in Moscow kung sakali. But siguro yung medyo delikado na is kapag may Valentina pang available na pwedeng piliin ng Falcons as their last pick at your XP lane. So, that yung Sora pick ni coming out from ONIC, tingin ko mangyari lang pag napili na itong Alice. So now, you do have that go signal para sa ONIC Philippines na kumuha ng Sora in combination of the Moskov here.
Yeah. It will be a good dive, and it'll force Falcons to just end up picking up something like a high loss, bring down a glorious pathway, either as a means to stop or a means to escape, and then that extra stun is going to help out. Oh, but they go for the Lapu Lapu instead. Interesting. I mean, technically they do some of the same things.
Yeah.
Ground control, good damage.
At pang dive na rin dito sa may Eve.
Yeah.
Pero alam mo, yung Sora plus yung Lapu-Lapu, it also allows for the Moskov pick for Savero sakali. I just wish that it will be yung mga ganitong klaseng hero. Instead, they will go the carry route. Carry Kalea combo.
Yeah.
No Katotkacha. Ano pa ba yung mga save dito para sa Falcons?
High loss.
High loss is there. Matutunan nga lang ng...
Yeah. And I think that's why they pick it. I wonder if they're crazy enough to try pick off here. Maybe something like a Cho or a Kaja.
Kufra ulit?
Kufra again?
Kufra ulit? Pwede naman?
Maybe.
Benerick for the vengeance, but I think the safest is high loss. Tapos yung Cho, potentially pwede rin naman dito sa side of Falcons.
What if they bring out the Belleric here? We mentioned Belleric earlier.
Parang pwede. The Taunt works, Vengeance works, Revitalize works. But the Cho is the safest option. They will go for the glue. And I think this is the time that I would say Falcons really did have a better draft. Napakasolido ng glue. Although may chance na matunaw siya eventually, pero hindi ganun ka-worth it kung ang pupuhusan ng skill ng isang carry is the roamer.
Alright, so for me, with everything that we've seen so far, even in the regular season with how Ogwen uses this glue, it really depends on how they handle the trades in the center, especially against Super Friends, the Kalea, the Juicin. Because Ogun has had that tendency to get picked off first.
As much as I want to see more games, pero parang nakuha na ng Falcons si tamang timpla. Picking up the second phase pick. Red side yung kanilang pinili. Sabay, ito yung heroes nila. They have a really good draft here in game number 5.
Whoever wins this goes into match points and one arena. Maging
I am ready for this one. Again, 2-2 across the street, and now, hey, it's down to a best of 3 between one of these two teams. Team Falcons and ONIC Philippines looking to surpass the limitations, surpass the legacy, hell, make a new legacy at this point to get to the grand final spot. And this is the drafts they brought out here at midnight. I saw you celebrating a little bit.
Yeah, I like this blue pick from Team Falcons. Wolf was actually on point when he described what this brings for Team Falcons. The only downside of this glue pick is when you hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
When you hit the bikini bottom.
Yeah,
bikini bottom.
We saw him hit the bikini bottom yesterday.
Yes.
When he went
We
like
did.
that.
Yes.
That was not where you want to be.
Yeah, if you lose out an early game mid-prio. But the thing is, in this game, you do have that pass to just die constantly every team fight. Because that's his job in this game. He's basically a body bag for this combo on the side of ONIC. Because if they don't burst the glue down, he can just reset the fight.
Yeah, this is one of the things that I would say for most glue roams right now is what you have to deal with. All right, you're living on the edge a little bit here, and that's why the glue roam can work out pretty well. But as we saw yesterday alone, there are situations where it's like, next thing you know, you're dying. You're the body bag for the team. But this can also help activate this lineup once again from Team Falcons, like we've seen throughout the series already. Kyle on the Suyo, you're able to do so many things. Super Marco can scale up quickly.
Yes. They just needed somebody that can actually open up the map or open up fights, and that basically is what glue is fitting into this composition, because you already have this Alice.
Yep.
This Alice, as much as he wants to go frontline, he can, but the thing is, there's the shred from the Kalea combo, so you just needed double body bags.
Yeah, and Alice can be also somewhat of a more reliable person to go in for the secondary engage because of the capabilities through the Throne of Ruin. Kirk, though, gets to isolate 2 members. ONIC are starting to work on the turtle, all the while Black finds a 3-man Throne of Ruin, and enough space has been created for ONIC, though. They secure turtle number 1.
Yeah, that was a good way to kind of approach that fight. ONIC was just fighting, kind of feigning to see if they would actually engage against Team Falcons, but nonetheless, it was to secure that first objective, that first turtle for them.
Yeah, weird choice for Kyle to actually commit a lot of the dashes that he has to try to burst on Kirk. They lost out on the turtle hold, which King Kong really held on. So this is going to allow the Leo mode to just constantly pressure the map with the Phantom Steve whenever it's up. And then they also have mid-prio. Now this is where the Kalea starts to become becoming scary. Ooh, Savero.
Yeah, I think he just used the BFI. Hold on, though. Here in the river.
Yeah.
Ogwen gets his first death.
Yeah, that's probably a preview of what we're going to see about a handful of times throughout this game.
Yep. I mean, we just did mention that this is what's going to happen, especially after ONIC took that first turtle. So again, this Kalea is going to become a menace. And this river, nobody can walk past on the side of Team Falcons because they don't have prio for the Suyo, they don't have prio for the Alice, and then they don't really have the kits yet or the items on the glue for him to be able to do his job as of right now.
Yeah. So much information provided by Super Friends there, as you just saw him, using the lantern to go and check the bushes here from Team Falcons, and that's what he does so much. And not only that, but depending if he decides to go ahead and build up the same way, get the Sky Piercer, second item usually is when we see him build it in.
Yeah.
Team Falcons is going to want to make sure that he doesn't get the stacks.
Yeah, this is the sad part, right? Like Team Falcons, I like the maneuver that they did on mid. They brought in the numbers to sort of take over the mid prio. But then after they cleared the wave, Zulsha just stepped up and he was like, I'm zoning 3 heroes. I'm ready.
Yeah, because they haven't really let go of this river control despite what we've been seeing from Falcons and their potential in terms of the lineup. Because ONIC acknowledges the fact that that's really what they have to do, just hold it down together, because it's really waiting up until Savero can be a reliable source of damage that they can just go and commit for the fights. But now it seems like they will still try and start this next turtle.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and start it up. Team Falcons has control of the space. Owen?
That's a flicker from Ogwen, a very aggressive engage at that. Now he finds a grab. It's going to be Brusco, but he gets isolated under the turret just the same. Haji gets the last hit on the objective, but ONIC are going for more. They're forced to flicker out of the RWM though, and Falcons will be okay, but they lose too.
It's a bit of an overcommitment from Falcons. The target was right. Ugwen immediately jumped onto Brusco to prevent the jump from ONIC Philippines, essentially delaying the team fight. They have to wait for the glue to step down from the Kalea first, but then Falcons overcommitted with the RWM, with Ugwen diving under the tower as well. And because of that, they lose out on tempo here for Falcons.
Yeah, they're gonna ONIC's gonna play a little bit of tempo now by taking it out at the tier 1. Yeah, they traded out that kill there. Like I said, Ugwen, that's gonna happen to him. And sometimes if you're fighting around that turtle pit, you get dragged to the turret, you're engaged, you know, you're gonna go down. But that's what you said, Midnight. This glue works in a sense of you're there to open up the map, you're there to open some of these team fights. But unfortunately, if the team fight isn't kind of centered the way that it needs to be around the objectives, you're just pulled away from the team.
Yeah, you don't force it, basically. You slow the game down for ONIC so that they don't get to play fast with the Kalea combo. And Flop already was able to set up, he was able to cut the XP lane, and then they got the turtle set up, their turtle prio, took the position in the bush, but then again, Ugwen tried to force too deep onto Brusco, which spilled this tempo spill for ONIC.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate because you feel that they also want to be a bit more proactive with the glue, but at the same time, it was just probably not the best target to go for in that particular sequence. So it could have worked differently, maybe if they changed or tweaked it a bit for the upcoming team fight, which might likely happen a few seconds from now.
Good gold build up there for Severo. You know, he's had all the time in the world to pretty much just go ahead and farm up. He's got a Corrosive Scythe working into his second item right now, but you know, farm-wise, he's had that experience, and this is the thing we see with the carry picks. You know, eventually, before you know it, your Team Falcons and your front line that's supposed to be tanky is getting shredded down by a carry. So this last turtle of the game, ONIC will all be here for this fight. They center around it to gain control for this. Team Falcons, we'll see if they want to contest it. Super Marco's got the stacks he's looking for on this Claude.
Oh, there goes the engage. The real world manipulation too late down as a response, and Flap goes in with the Throne of Ruin. The Blazing Doom and 2, there's just so much AoE from Falcons as they secure the turtle as well, together with a kill on Brusco. Flap gets to be sacrificed though, with still 4 members fighting against 4. But they will not push through.
What the hell is that reaction from Haji?
Yeah, it was so quick.
The title strike was on point from Brusco with the flicker. But as soon as he got down, there was already the real world manipulation from the Eve. Couldn't get the Tsunami Slam onto the Eve.
So, did he press it while he was mid-air or something?
I think so. I think he just knew that, you know, he's going to get jumped on because they grouped up. Ugwen and Haji clumped up together. If we can only get an instant replay, it would have been, it's going to be amazing because, again, these are the things that Falcons has to be aware of. The jumps from ONIC, they have to slow this initiations down to the point where even if the Kalea jumps, they prevent the damage dealers from pursuing the fight, from engaging. And that's what the RWM allowed. Severo couldn't really step in.
That's why that, you know, now that we've seen it, Team Falcons leaning towards this Eve pick has been so good for them through the games they've brought it out. It allows them to fight the game that they want to, especially if it's around that real world manipulation.
Yeah, and especially in that sequence, it's more of also being just a way to avoid or deny ONIC in their plan.
Severo, chill.
Yeah,
this is very risky, Severo.
Yeah, to be fair though, they do have right side prio, which just means that, you know, Falcons cannot really step over the side of the map because they have all the bush in check for ONIC Philippines. So he's able to play aggressive like that, but it's still a Suyo, you know? Like, you never know. Suyo with Blade Soul Silver hurts a lot.
And he didn't have the flicker too, so...
Yeah.
You know, so it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're...
Giga Chad.
Yeah, Giga Chad things. They're up to this point of the tier 2. They're going to do some damage to it, but the rest of the Falcons centering around this. Lord's going to be up here shortly. So once again, we're going to see this fight for the objective come through as both junglers want to go ahead and reset, get the buffs that they need before they actually fight for it. Now, one thing that can happen here is a setup potential from ONIC, you know, utilizing the Kalea. If they want to go for a numbers advantage before even centering on the Lord, they can do that. So Team Falcons has to be a little cautious on how they approach the fight. Same thing can happen here too. We've seen it time and time again with an Alice on your side.
Kyle?
Flab can set things up. Kyle's just going to go ahead and continue to push up top, just clearing up that wave.
Good thing. As soon as Kyle showed up top, Ogren moved back because he knows like ONIC can just jump the glue at that moment. Honestly, for ONIC, they can, the way they want to start this fight is just going on by one. Just take down one guy inside of Team Falcons and then just be done with it. But now they see the carry up top. They know there's no combo for this Galea.
Yeah, and ONIC can be more precise with their timings, I guess, because earlier Falcons, the team fight broke out right after they were already more or less ready for the fight. Because Marco was done clearing the wave, they were all revealing themselves nearby. So it depends on ONIC if they do want to change the timings a bit more. But Falcons, again, Kyle is...
Yeah. He's going to keep putting that pressure up there on the long lane.
Again, it's the blueprint, right? It's the game plan. Slow things down to the point where they cannot use this Kalea carry combo. And again, every time Kyle shows up topside, Owen moves back. This is a push and pull between these two teams. ONIC, wait!
Oh, now they go in though, but another great RWM! The response from Falcons is keeping them in check! They find Super Prince and Brusco! The mid duo is gone!
Wow, they wanted to slow things down, but hey, Team Falcons are the one that like, let's go!
I mean, if you walk away from mid-prio like that, you give it to Team Falcons. They don't have the numbers on the side of ONIC. The Super Family was not in the house.
You know what? I thought it was like the pull that was about to happen because we had a push-pull moment there, but it went push-push. Or it was just a fake pull, and then they went for another push.
Yeah, because nobody was pulling on the side of ONIC. Kirk stepped to the right side. They didn't have the numbers. And Team Falcons, when they jumped in, when they went in, ONIC was not SpongeBob. They were not ready.
They took him for a trip to Bikini Bottom, and they weren't ready, man. They're a different...
Rock bottom, dude.
But rock bottom. It feels bad to see that for ONIC, but hey, that's the nature of their composition. Caught off guard now. They're going to lose some space here. Lord's going to slowly make its way up top.
Yeah, this glue and Alice combo is making a big difference. This is why during the draft, even us on the panel, like the Filipino and English broadcast, we're all shouting and chanting glue. In fact, we're chanting Hans Galleria.
Yeah. He's
the glue guy.
For context, he's the glue guy.
He's the glue guy, yeah. He's the glue master.
Yeah, he's the glue main. And ever since the Patrick skin came out, I think he's picked it more often than he could.
It surpassed his most used hero.
He surpassed the legacy.
Yes, he did. And now let's see who does here in this fight! A three-man throne of ruin coming in from Flap. King Kong tried to isolate Kyle, and he somewhat succeeds. And now could it be Flap moving out? Bruce does go in! But the grab gets used onto Kirk, and now he's isolated too.
Kirk.
Still has a flicker. Will not escape. Now it's Falcons going in for the re-engage, but they're losing out on HP. They might not want to fight this anymore. That might have been a dangerous flicker from Owen, and he might go down. He will in the hands of King Kong.
But then weren't we just saying push, pull, push, pull?
Yep. They took the punish. They didn't have the Alice ult. No Throne of Ruin. That's a big signal for ONIC to go in. Brusco with a flicker. Tsunami Slime on the backside. Falcons, they could have just disengaged, but they wanted to go in. They didn't have all the ults. They didn't have RWM. And then Ogun tried to look for a target. He tried to jump onto Savero, even using the flicker, but Savero was like, no, I can just dash out.
Yeah, there's, again, one of those moments where it's like, that's that first Lord, you get your base turret, you can probably just disengage from it, but they decided to stay, and they got punished a bit.
Yeah, and we're going to be looking at this instant replay again. No big ults for Team Falcons. Kyle had a good angle for the Blade Surge, but didn't have enough damage, didn't have enough firepower. Even under the Blazing Duet, it wasn't really enough because they had to deal with the damage from the carry as well, the heals from the Surge of Life. All the while, Super Prince was just zoning the other members of Team Falcons.
And Team Falcons, though, still in control. Lord's going to be up here again. They've controlled the objective space for the majority of these objectives that have come up. ONIC, though, looks to be in fighting form. A win in nature now, too, for Severo, so he's got a little more room to work with on the defensive side.
Ogwen, though, with damage. He has a glowing wand and current helmet. So these cores on the side of ONIC, they have to be really careful. He just needed the pauldron, honestly. Like now he can actually frontline versus the carry.
there were instances that this happened in the regular season too,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
the molten, the sprint into the cursed helmet type of build for the glue.
Yeah, he doesn't have to like build a full tank here because the way that this glue works is that he also acts sort of like a damage dealer to threaten the carries, the Lapus. Because if he goes full tank, then ONIC can just ignore, right? Because they had the damage. They can just ignore the glue jump. But now because Ogwin is building damage type on this glue, suddenly now Severo and Kirk they have to be really careful because if they get jumped on, there's a good chance Ogwin has enough damage to put their HP down to a certain threshold where they cannot fight.
Yeah, that's why you saw him also earlier be a little more aggressive on the flicker.
Yep.
Sometimes you see him, you know, you typically do see that with glues in general, but even more so on this build.
Tsunami Slam on Ogwin.
Ogwin.
Doesn't have the immortality. Gets the flicker out to safety though, but that's a battle spell out for Team Falcons and they force him to retreat.
Oh, that's big though.
He's
That's
gonna have to
big.
go back.
Yeah, they see Lapu.
They have control.
Yeah, they have to give.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they oh my lord, Falcons.
Yeah.
Good patience. And Ogwin again, the sacrifice, the body bag. Severo even used ult. So there was no chance for ONIC to actually re-engage.
Yeah, good play on the map.
Just as we thought it could have been an opening for ONIC, they weren't actually complete.
Yeah, again, they're not SpongeBob. They're not ready. And even if, let's say, yeah, sure, they're ready, they kill off this glue. What's next, right? You kill the glue, now you have to deal with the Eve, the Claude, and then the Alice.
It's just...
Oh, now Flap has a winner crown. Bigger problem for ONIC.
Yep, winner crown locked in.
Even for carry. But
Ooh.
but the thing is, like, who does the first dive? It's either Flap.
Yeah.
And if you get caught in the real world, or even if you get caught by Ogwin.
Yeah, you're in a tough space. So this Lord's pushing up top. They're gonna try to hold on. Conceal gonna be used by Team Falcons.
They just want the turret. Super Marco, ooh, okay. Dealt as much damage as he could.
Yeah, they cleared out. They still have to deal with the Lord though. So the waves aren't in favor right now of ONIC's push. That Lord should be shredded down really quickly too.
Yeah.
They might get some damage to this mid turret, but I don't know, unless we see them try to force something.
Okay, it's Haji using the RWM first. King Kong responds with a Phantom Steed, but they're not really forcing fights under the turret.
Yeah, they're playing it chill. They know that Team Falcons, if they have to push, if they want to push the tower, they have to commit. And they just use the RWM from Haji, but it's not enough. It has to be the Alice coming in with the first skill.
Yep.
And then threat of the Throne of Ruin.
Yep.
But ONIC, again, they know that they cannot get outplayed if it's just the evil.
Yeah, even relying just on the real world manipulation, you can't really get into the base that way. It's really got to come from Flap, and at the same time, now you're in a position where if you do get caught in a bad team fight under a base turret like we've seen before, it can go completely wrong. This isn't a massive lead that Team Falcons has, although they have controlled the objective space. That's the main thing you can take from this, is just the nature of the lineup allows them to set up an area of control around the Lords that we've seen, and that's where ONIC's most big, like the biggest obstacle is for them.
Yeah.
Falcons could be potentially trying to set up for a play here. Again, this is where we also look to see what potential conceal plays can happen for Team Falcons, or even vice versa for ONIC.
I think if it only were like the wave down bottom that arrived earlier too, it's just like there's just too much more life left in this mid lane turret that they couldn't really risk it.
So the solution is so annoying. Like the amount of damages he's done all throughout this game is making it hard for Team Falcons actually to engage.
He got it again.
Yeah, they have to be really creative here for Falcons. Oh, conceal.
Oh, they're gonna, okay. Good call. Good information here.
Yeah, again, they have to be really creative. Imagine all this lead, and it's still hard for them to actually engage, because again, the threat of the combo is always there. And ONIC, even all throughout that pressure from the entire early to mid game, they're still on their feet right here because of the fact that if you look at their kills, right? 6 kills. Look at Falcons. All the kills are on Flap and Haji.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not Haji. Ogwin. Imagine if they find somebody else. Imagine if they find an Eve, if they find a Claude, or if they find the Suyo. Maybe they go for the weird angles here for ONIC.
Oh, Brusco jumping in.
Oh. Super Marco gets to dodge that. Brusco now gets knocked up by the Lord. A not so good start for ONIC there. They lose out on the flicker.
Yeah, Marco didn't even need to purify that too. He just PMI'd.
I think the plan there for ONIC was to bait, but I don't know about that. Maybe not against Filipino players.
Yeah. At this point, this is pretty crucial. Brusco doesn't have the flicker available, so they're going to fight for this Evolved Lord. Again, Team Falcons has this long lane 2 over on the other side of the map. Kirk's gonna make his way. Ogwin.
Ogwin starts it. He finds Super Friend.
Oh my lord. Okay.
He lands the grab, but then there's a flicker. So now they might go for the punish. But King Kong 2! King Kong 2! He gets trapped in the back line.
Camero.
Fortunately, gets to
Camero.
escape though. Ogwin using the conceal also runs away. But Super Marco blazing to it in, popping the immortality for Brusco. And Haji with the real world. Kyle finds Super Friend. And Brusco goes down next. It's a double for Haji. And they have a wave coming in. Sabero's doing his best. But he gets only pushed out of this turret. Team Falcons are going to match point.
What a way to soar through the Super Family. The jumps were eloquent. The precision from the Falcons. The macro gameplay against Super Family takes them one game away from the grand finals.
Ooh, they are on their way, one game away to breaking that lower bracket curse they've been through, man.
Yeah.
Team Falcons.
They're past 2-game wins now.
Whew.
They're no longer stuck at 2.
They're no longer stuck there. Curses aren't real. Team Falcons looking to soar into the grand final.
Yeah, again, this last big clue, man. I seriously think that after the series against ONIC, they realized that, okay, this team is risky as hell. They do a lot of risky things. Even that bait on the Purify, on the Claude, was risky from ONIC, but they didn't take the bait for Falcons. They just wanted to play Blueprint.
Yeah.
Even in that previous game, right? With the Kufra, it's a risky pick, but it makes sense because it plays into the macro so well.
Whoa!
And man, Haji, he
got guts.
started this, by the way. He started his tempo for Team Falcons. That dodge onto the Tsunami Slam, the KDA machine, staying alive all throughout the game, allowed Team Falcons to play how this composition is meant to be played.
Dude, those RWMs were so good. They were so good. He was manipulating my world at that
Yeah.
point. I mean, I'll tell you what, Haji, wow, play Eve again.
That felt like the equivalent of an athletic flicker.
Yes.
It's like you listen to some of my sayings.
It's like I hear it a bit too much.
Athletic flicker.
Athletic.
Athletic, you know?
So athletic.
These are athletes, by the way. RE Sports
Well, yeah.
players, they're athletes.
Normally, yeah.
Yeah.
So when
Normally
you,
athletes.
when you flicker like he did,
Yes.
that is what I like to call an athletic flicker.
Yes, sir. And wow, I am speechless, honestly. Like this team fighting from Team Falcons has been on point since game number 3. And
Yeah.
I think they've gotten their warm up.
Yeah, the panelists themselves. Wolf said that yes, he does want more games, but he feels like Falcons have finally found
Finally found
the
Freedom.
recipe or something along those lines.
Wait,
What's
I got
freedom?
one, bring it up.
What?
Finally found flight. Say it 3 times as fast
Finally
as you
found flight.
can. No, as fast as you can.
Finally found flight.
3 times in a row.
Finally found flight. Finally found flight. I can't.
There you go.
I can't.
There you go. Hey, if you're watching, sitting at home, you guys try it.
Can you guys try it for
Finally
me?
found flight.
Finally found flight. Finally found flight. Finally found flight.
He can't either. Let's ask the Filipino that's to do it later.
We'll ask them to do it later. All right. But yeah. Hey, Team Falcons, they needed this. It took them it was a little shaky in some of the games, but I feel like this was a really clean showing with the composition that they brought out. Obviously, Haji on the Eve was a big part of it, but also this time, you know, Owen, the interesting part of it is how he built this glue. Like you mentioned, Midnight, you know, 20-minute exact game, by the way.
Wow.
So my qualm with Falcons is, where was this the first 3 games? Where was my classic Falcons, right?
Midnight.
You know, wait. Let me just say this out
I'm
loud.
gonna let you finish. I'm just
I
gonna say,
know.
you're
I'm
never
mouthing.
happy.
I know.
You're
I'm
never-
mouthing. I know. I'm mouthing right now. Even America said I'm streaming on broadcast. Like this is like an actual stream.
Okay.
But for me, Falcons is a team that builds good comps and play how they're supposed to be played.
Yeah.
Like they don't stray out of tradition. They play the blueprint game. This was it, right?
Yeah.
Even the previous game. First 3 games, what the hell was that?
What is going on? Yeah.
And their
Yeah.
first series too.
Their first
Not
series
it.
too. I agree.
That's true.
That was against ONIC.
That's true.
Yeah.
Again.
Roger, right?
Roger. Hey.
Hey,
You know what? I was excited too when the Roger came out. I was like, let's go.
Let's go.
And then midway through the game, I'm like, Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, in a world full of Uranuses, Atlases, and Fighter Emblems,
Yeah.
it's not a blueprint. Now you go back to blueprint.
Yeah.
The glue pick was a bit questionable, right?
Yeah.
At best, questionable, because you have to play perfect blueprint gameplay. And
Yeah.
guess what Falcons excels at? Perfect blueprint gameplay.
Yep.
Build good comps.
They are still the master, like they're one of the masters of the objective control.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that is something why, you know, they went off to win their world championship that they did, why they won so many championships around the world.
Yeah.
Because they have mastered that.
Yeah.
Haji, he fit into the piece of the puzzle perfectly.
Yes.
You know, because he's got experience doing that too. Well, hell, you put them into this mode, which is sometimes, it's like you're looking for the Falcons to be a falcon and not a bird. Like, that's how it feels sometimes,
But
man,
a
you know?
falcon is a bird.
No, but like a different bird, not a falcon.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah, I get you.
like a crow or
Yeah. You're not a normal bird.
You're not a normal.
Yeah, you have to wait to be a falcon.
Yes.
I don't know how nature works, but I feel like it doesn't work that way.
Evolution.
Evolution, baby. Dude, that's true though. That's true. At some point, the falcons were just another bird until they became falcons.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to understand.
Charles Darwin.
But wasn't that like monkey?
Who's Remar? I'm just.
Oh, wait. For context, that's our director, dude.
Yeah, that's our director. All right, sorry, that threw me off. No, big shout out to our director. Hey, we love you.
Okay.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying here, right? Team Falcons.
Yes, Charles Darwin was the last.
Charles Darwin. Hey, that's
Okay,
actually.
he said evolution.
Wait. That's actually a beautiful way of putting it, Charles
Yeah.
Darwin, because this series evolved into push and pull.
Okay.
Game 1, Game 2, it was just
Yeah.
all about brawling, fighting.
That's so true.
Now it became okay. Go front, you Lancelot, you bait. This game, you bait. So and Team Falcons understands how team fight works perfectly.
Yeah.
To the point where it becomes easier for them to just bait Kalea, and then just go for
Why are you?
because you're winning.
I'm listening to the philosophy that Midnight's spinning right now.
Yeah.
And
Bait,
you're
bait,
learning.
bait.
Yeah, that's how you win games.
I'm Aristotle.
You what? Aristotle. Okay.
Total.
Aristotle. You know what? I believe this is Remar. Let's head on over to the MPL Festival. What you got for us, Remar?
Hey there everybody! Your girl is back here at MPL Super Fan City at kanina naganap ang mga palaro sa ating stage kung saan naka-receive ng mga freebies ang ating mga super fans from our sponsors like Infinix, Smart, and Clear as well as from Falcon's Nest. Kanina rin ay ginanap ang Infinix Fancy Cluban semifinal sa pagitan ng The Beast of AP Brand and Sonics of ONIC Philippines kung saan naka 2-0 sweep ang Sonics. Kaya naman bukas ay kahaharapin nila ang Auroras para sa Grand Finals ng Infinix Fancy Cluban. Para sa ating 3rd at 4th placers ng Infinix Fancy Cluban, they will receive 10,000 mlbb diamonds. Para naman sa 2nd place, they will receive 15,000 mlbb diamonds. At para naman sa tatanghaling kampyon ng Infinix Fancy Cluban, they will receive Fancy Cluban Trophy, medals, 25,000 mlbb diamonds, and GT Watch 5 Pro. Maraming mga kaganapan dito sa Super Fan City, kaya naman tanungin natin ating mga super fans kung kumusta ba ang kanilang mga nag-i-experience. Let's go! So, kumusta experience mo dito? Ano bang favorite mo na nalibot dito sa Super Fan City?
Yung clear po kasi may free.
Ay, free!
Sobrang fun kasi sobrang daming booth dito.
Pumunta na kayo dito sa MPL Festival Super Fan City dahil meron pa rin tayo bukas hanggang Grand Finals. Dito na kayo makakita ng mga cosplayers at ML heroes na nagtatagalog. Kaya halina kayo dito!
Always great to hear promoted and of course what's going on in Super Fan City, but here we are, match point. It's still Wolf and Renmar here, and we were talking about a very specific pick. It was in the EXP lane. I feel like there were moments that a Sora or a presence of a Sora was missed, especially since it was the eve of Haji that ended up becoming the MVP turnaround winner.
There was a time na masasabi natin si Kirk was instrumental in the first few minutes of the game. Napakalakas ng pagkakapiloto niya dito sa isang lapu-lapu. But in the end, ang daming mga teamfights that could have won with a big box that they can utilize. Unfortunately, yun yung isang bagay naman na na-abuse dito ng Team Falcons.
Well, do you have a play for us at the
That's
moment
right.
now?
So, napakagandang Lord dance natin. Tingin ko dahil yung dalawang teams natin are championship caliber teams na rin at napakataas na rin yung experience and their knowledge about the game. That's when we can say na magiging maganda yung isang Lord dance. This is a very long one. In fact, makikita natin dito yung pagkakaset up ng Falcons na first din nila dito yung initiation coming up from Brusco. That was the flicker that they started with. And if we take a look dun sa mangyayari, mag-initiate si Ogwen on this side. Now, take note, this looks like a weird play coming out from Ogwen dahil dito siya sa may bandang baba. Makikita natin dito malayo siya sa kanyang mga teammates. And then ito si King Kong na magiging crucial dahil hindi pa siya nakikita ng side ng ONIC. But watch out for what Flap can do na sinasabi natin dito na experience na talaga na player. What will happen is makikita niya na si King Kong parang talagang chinecheck niya lahat ng mga possibility dito kasi ONIC can either steal the Lord with King Kong or mag-teamfight pa nga.
Oh, so you're saying that in this moment, maybe Ogwen forced this because Falcons needed to look freaking
Exactly. And they were able to get this one at mukhang makakapiglas na ang side ng ONIC Philippines dito at mukhang magkakaroon ng reset at this reset will not favor Team Falcons eventually pero dahil sa gagawin ni Haji, our MVP, this play needs no explanation, that timing. In fact, ito rin yung dahilan kung bakit sila nanalo sa Omega yesterday. Haji's timings with the Eve dun sa kanya paggamit ng ultimate, hindi niya basta-basta binibitaw at naghanap siya ng perfect na moment for his team. That is what allows Team Falcons to eventually win the team fights.
Yeah, he didn't even need to get the kills within his own box. The moment that Immobilize hit, you knew that Falcons could just run down the members of ONIC Philippines.
Yep. And then eventually yung mga ibang members mo dito like sila Kai, di ba napakaganda rin ng performance afterwards, the way that they outplayed at na-counter pa nga yung gustong gawin ng side ng ONIC Philippines eventually.
By the way, we have QR codes up in your screen right now, or it's going to be up in the arena. We're going to have QR codes that are going to be popping up. Oh, it's right there next to you. It's right next to it. Yeah, right over there. It's Palag na to. Merchandise, of course, our anthem, performed and sang by the lovely Janine Berdine. Early access for the merchandise. Scan the QR codes on your screens. I should get in on that. I just realized, those are. I like the card that she got. Can we get those cards, you know?
Can we get those cards?
Like the Janine Berdine one?
Oo nga naman. Alam mo naman, sobrang na-impress tayo sa performance si Janine Berdine. Alam mo, yung palag na to, kaya pa pala siya pag-live.
Yeah.
When I saw it the first day.
Yeah, I love her. I love her music. I love her performance of the anthem. It was really good.
Siya rin naman. Okay din naman talaga si Madam Janine. Respect.
Very, very talented.
Very talented.
Yeah.
Okay. That was important in the first 5 games. At ito yung naging lead-up kung bakit nagkaroon ng match point dito ang Team of Falcons. So, pansinin natin, nagpapalitan sila ng sides at first. It was actually Team Falcons who chooses itong mga sides natin. Dun sa first game, sila yung home team. So, sila yung pumili ng blue side.
I think the very important thing that, especially that we noticed in game number 5 was, you definitely, of course, it made a lot of sense for you to lean towards Falcons for that draft. For me personally, it was dependent on how they'd be able to handle the early. They got, at least if I'm not mistaken, Turtle 2 after Turtle 1 went to ONIC.
Yes.
Because it's the Kalea and Juicin that has been problematic for you. Kalea, problematic for a lot of teams because it's Brusco playing it. Of course, in this series, the Juicin of Super Friends. But then now in this very crucial game number 5 where Falcons get a match point, they were able to take them down with those picks.
Ang mental battle na nakita ko dito between the two drafters ng dalawang teams at kung paano sila mag-decide. First yung side selection, blue side natatalo ang Falcons. And after 4 games, nakita nila na yung side pa na napapabor sa kanila is that red side. At this time dun sa game number 5, ONIC mismo nag-decide na ibahin yung kanilang draft pattern to ban eventually yung Pakito instead na mag-ban ng Zushin. So parang gumaganda na yung balasa para sa side ng ONIC Philippines. Pero yung Falcons, na-realize na okay, we just have to take this Alice away from ONIC. Kumuha tayo ng Suyo at yung EV pang sasagot natin dun sa Zushin na tumalo sa atin in the game number 1 and game number 3. baka hindi Kalea yung problema natin. If we are Falcons, maybe it was the Jushin. And in fact, nakita nga natin yung pagkakagamit nila nito sa Eve to eventually win out against the Jushin of Super Friends.
So when Mirko and I made our predictions heading into the playoffs, I said that if ever we got this as the lower bracket finals match, because this was his prediction that we'd end up with, that this would be a battle of the side lanes. I thought that we'd see a more consistent, like without a doubt, Roman trio, they're gonna be good. But as the series goes on, you realize one hit in the mid can actually change the picture for the entire matchup in the Roman trio.
And yung priority pa yun, di ba? Parang yung Zushin yung binigay nila. Knowing full well that ONIC, hindi sila magdadalawang isip na kunin yung Zushin na yun. That was the first pick Zushin. Immediately, they picked up the Eve. Medyo binangko muna nila yung kanilang jungler pick. Eventually, nakuha pa rin nila yung Suyo na gusto nila. Which to me is one of the decisions that ONIC Philippines had to really hard read on. But unfortunately for them, it did not work. Yung Leomord, tingin ko, in terms of like priorities, so sabihin na natin yung term na hierarchy, Renmar, tingin ko para sa akin, di ba naman, kung naalala mo yung sa draft, sabi ko, first is Harley, then Suyo, then Leomord. They chose the Leomord at sila pa yung nauna mag-pick doon. And I think, syempre, nasa team play nila yun. Nasa practice nila kung paano nila na-feel na yun yung pinakamalakas. But for me personally, I would not put that as my priorities. At nakita naman natin kung ano yung mga limitations ng hero na yun.
I think ONIC are probably gonna break glass in case of emergency. They're probably gonna end up with a Harley in this game. Something just about that. And how ONIC has played Harley, especially King Kong, they just really find the angles really well with getting those pickoffs, or even if it doesn't lead to a kill, at least you get the -1 because most of the times it's the roamer or the EXP, sometimes even it's the mid laner, they go home and then you have an advantage in the turtle. Again, it just goes along with that ONIC style we've been saying all season long. Heading into objective fights, maghahanap sila ng laban. They're gonna look for a fight.
Yeah. Still, mapapansin natin yung ONIC Philippines high spirits pa rin. Look at this. The shared hero is...
Axio and
Basha and Suyo. Hindi dapat ito yun. Pero, that's interesting. I think yung mas gusto kong bigyan ng pansin dito is yung mga unique heroes na nilalaro nila, which in this scenario, hindi pa masyado nag-Harley itong si Kyle. Whereas itong si Kiko, yan talaga yung pinaprioritize as long as as well as the Leomord. The friend is always banned in the second phase. Pero itong si Kyle, hindi pa niya hinawakan yung Guinevere. What's stopping Team Falcons dito to pick up the Guinevere? We don't know yet. Pero baka makita pa natin yan sa ating next game.
What if that's what they were saving this for?
Yes.
This match point, time to make it to the grand finals pick, then they finally lock in the Guinevere.
Tama.
Even though, okay, we'll pull the curtain back a little bit. All the casters have been looking for it. Where's this Guinevere? Yeah, I can't remember if it was bad, but in the moments where we thought Falcons would pick it up, they don't.
They don't? Yeah. Well, kasi naman, available din yung Suyo na ang hirap talagang hindi piliin sa mga ganitong moments. But here we are, match point for Team Falcons. Always starts with the draft. Ang mga games natin, isang beses para tayong mabot sa 20 minutes. Kadalasan ay mga one-sided. Although sabihin natin may mga games na quote-unquote tumatagal, pero alam mong one-sided siya. And I think, dahil yun dun sa mga draft. So far, we have been seeing teams that has a better draft to eventually win it.
So here's Super Marco's top 5 heroes picked for the season. Of course, it makes sense. Claude is all the way up there. Moskov is his next in terms of his most iconic so far this season. Win rate went down a little bit because we saw the result of the Moskov game that they got earlier. So that's why we put a lot of importance on the trade between they got the Granger, the 4 marksmen that you see on screen. The Claude, the Moskov, the Harris, and the Carry. At one point, I thought that we'd be seeing an entire playoffs or just Claude Harris. But I'm glad nag-evolve tayo doon na hindi lang yun yung nakuha natin.
I'm glad we're seeing like the Moskov, eventually yung Carry pag tama yung moment, but it just won't work. If you're ONIC, I feel like parang hindi na advisable na kumuha ka pa ng mga pocket strategies dito on core roles. Siguro yung mga mid laners, yung mga roamers, maybe that's where you can go for your cheese picks, but we'll see if they will go for their pocket strategies heading into their potential last game.
Here we are, match point for the Falcons. ONIC has to show up with a draft to force game number 7. We're going to see in just a bit the sides for these two. ONIC goes blue, and they first pick the Claude right away. One of the heroes that we were expecting Falcons to not give to Severo, but because of the bans, Falcons had to deliver. Fanny, Baksha, and the Freya, Severo gets his Claude.
Okay, so ang mga ko dito, there is the Eve and now the Guinea
There
Beer.
we go.
Now the Guinea Beer.
I thought about it. I was saying it earlier. Maybe they're saving it for this.
Eto
This
na nga yan.
specific moment, their game or grand finals clinching win, and they get the Eve too.
And alam mo, Renmar, parang hindi natin pinaprioritize yung leaderboard para sa ONIC, but I think this is the game where they can pick it up. Right? It's one of those heroes na pwedeng pangasabay nga naman sa isang Guinevere.
Yes.
And has good synergy with Claude. Siguro yung Eve will always be a problem, but they can always go for the Valentina here if you're ONIC and the Zushin. So Zushin muna kanilang unahin.
Yeah.
Probably the Leomord is their next pick. Or maybe Alice kung gusto nila nakawin, di ba?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the Valentina, and it seems like ONIC want to go for full dive, but there's the Leomord.
Okay.
Ogwen.
There's the Kalea.
Kalea, play it safe, either high loss Gatot. I think the Gatot would be good because there's a lot of dives. You get that taunt and the Revitalize as well.
Revitalize. Alright, so Harith yun, yung ibang sometimes
Harith,
ginagamit siya, pero kasi magic-based yun. So pwedeng ipiliin yung iba, but yeah, I would have said down the Moscow is the better option kung sakali para may late game options din sila dito for Falcon. So well-rounded draft for both teams at yung tri-core ang pinakita ng parehas nating teams dito. Well, they're not technically tri-core pero gold, tapos mid lane and then the jungler.
Roam EXP for both to show their last picks. It's gonna be brutal in the second phase of the draft. You remove Gato at high loss, Kalea, all of those heroes that have our holy trinity of Revitalize / healing. And then you're left with either the damaged ones, the Kali, the Hilda, and then the Cho.
Yeah. Okay, so that's two picks for both teams. We're gonna be starting with the bans.
Them play the
That
hero.
is Yuzhong. Alright, so that's Yuzhong from Falcons, the respect from their team. Para din mapalakas nila yung kanilang turtle fight. Para sa ONIC, ang kanilang tingnan din dito is the possible roam options din. Like the Gatot Kacha na magiging problema para sa isang Claude. There's also that Sora factor for both teams. At dahil mauna yung Team Falcons, baka yung ONIC ay magban ng Sora eventually.
I think ONIC will probably look at the roamers and Falcons might look at the EXP laners here. Even if they get the Sora... Oh, no, yeah. No, yeah, it'll be really good. Yeah, ONIC is better off the Sora.
Oo, pero may option din
realized.
ng Valentina dito para sa ONIC. Parang, alam mo yung counter nga niya yung Sora, pero hindi gaganda yung composition nila if that is picked up. It does make sense on the counter perspective, but we'll see.
Baka yung Leomord dun eh.
That's right. So Falcons, I'm still seeing the Sora fourth pick para sa kanila, pero meron din namang option ng Alice on their side.
Yeah, so that Kirk doesn't end up with it because it also it combines really well for ONIC. I mean, we've always said balance would be really good, but even more so now, I think it's warranted ONIC can just go full dive, considering it's the even Moscow that you're worried about. The Khalid gets banned out here for Falcons, one of the multiple roamers that we mentioned earlier. So if Falcons ends up, or excuse me, ONIC ends up banning either the Gatot or High Loss, and then that's going to be bad for them. So I think they want to float those two open, so that just becomes a trade in the roam.
Yeah. So, speaking of roamers, mayroon bang chance na Guinevere dito will be the roam?
Yes.
That happened before?
Yeah, that happened before, but okay. Sorry, it wasn't mine, but I just wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Not for me, not for me. Let's just say that. I'm not going to yuck their yum, it wasn't for me.
Okay. So that will be the Atlas, the ban here for ONIC. Fourth pick para sa Team Falcons. Sora looks really good here para sa Falcons.
Okay, would you rather get the Sora or get the Alice so that ONIC doesn't get it?
I'd rather go to Sora kasi mas madami siya na-achieve dito pag dive na rin everything. If they want a neutral pick, yung Hilda nandyan pa rin na available para sa kanila. Okay siya laban sa isang Leomord, okay siya versus the Claude.
Yep.
Another option is Glue, another flex pick yun. Pwedeng maging EXP, pwedeng maging roll. At nakita naman natin kung gaano ka-impactful si Ogwin sa pag-control ng river with that Glue.
Oh yeah, what if they just pick it up as the red 4 pick and then it's a flex if ever? Then you can just adjust it.
So that will mean Alice para sa team, sa ONIC Philippines. I mean, what do you pick for Brusco?
Fight for the
But
ultimate.
it's indeed the Hilda.
Still flex.
Still flex.
What a pick up.
Okay.
It makes it so much harder for ONIC to read.
Yeah. But they can go Sora if they want to. At the same time, may lapu-lapu pa na hindi naman din magkakaroon ng problema dito sa Hilda. I think the lapu-lapu is a great addition para sa ONIC. It has the dive that they need. Yung Alice, tingin ko magkakaroon na ng konting problema dito because of the presence of the Hilda and the Moskov.
Yep.
And the knockups coming out from the control coming out from both Eve and Hilda. Even Guinevere. So tingin ko, lapu-lapu na bibili ng ONIC Philippines. And Gatot Kacham probably. And there it is. That's the Gatot. Para sa side ng ONIC Philippines.
And then they showed their revitalized roamer here. Ogun can just wrap it up with a high loss.
Yeah.
Wrap it up in a neat little package.
Still go for the Alice.
Ooh. Yeah, the more you talk about it, I was thinking maybe the Lapu-Lapu would have been a little bit better.
Yeah. Pero isa naman to sa mga na-consider din natin kanina.
Yeah.
For sure. A very standard pickup.
Oh yeah, they go all dive, by the way.
All dive for sure. So, revitalize makes a lot of sense here.
It has to be high loss, the glorious pathway.
Pwede rin yung i-keep nila yung Hilda dun sa may gitna, sa may row, and then pick up an Arlot actually. And they themselves pick up the Lapu-Lapu. Alam mo, I think this is pretty even. Parehas na teams na may malakas na lineup. The dive coming up from ONIC is impressive. It's gonna be up to execution. I feel like this is a pretty even draft.
Match point for both. Super Fam, ONIC needs your support! Falcons, one more game! Who is gonna move forward? Is it Falcons now, or are we gonna go to game number 7? Casters, let's go!
Here we go, match point right now for Team Falcons. ONIC looking to equalize once again. It's been that way throughout the series. And here we are. We have one side of San Juan Arena just hoping that the Super Fam can get it together and make this happen with the draft. And Team Falcons on the other side, man, they are loud and ready to see their Team Falcons make it to that grand final.
Yeah, it's quite scary for the Sonics because every single game, the red side has won. And it's always been the Claude, but the Claude is on the blue side now for ONIC.
Oh, even despite us finally seeing the Guinevere in the hands of Falcons.
Finally.
It's a not so same combo as well from what we were asking to see from them, because you don't really see the Kalea, you don't even see the Arlot, not either.
Yeah, where was it? Where was my Kalea? Where's my good comps?
I don't know, man. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, if this was a Kalea instead, would that end up being better here? But I think, you know, ONIC knew what they wanted to play around with, and they decided to go that way. I think this is comfort, at least for the most part, against Super Prince on that Jushin especially. Whoa, that's a lot of early damage, though, from Ogwin. This is what we usually see with a Hilda. Mind you as well, throughout this map, the way this is going to go is that early aggression and rotation that Team Falcons can bring, but also expanding rivers comes into play with having this Hilda on your side too.
Which is amplified by the fact that almost all heroes on the side of Team Falcons wins the roll-to-roll matchup. Like you have the Lapu against the Alice, you have the Eve against the Zushin, and then the Claude, the Moskov versus the Claude.
Yeah, and overall, just mobility-wise and the way that Ogun can do so much in the early game compared to Brusco, who probably has to wait a bit more for the team fights to break out. And now you're seeing Falcons position themselves first early on before this next, or this first turtle spawns.
Yeah, that's one of the things this Hilda roam lets you do. You're so aggressive, you can poke down even the opposing roamer, and you have control around this first objective. King Kong's got to try to make this happen, but look at the wall he's got to go through.
Yep, it's Flap blocking the way alongside Ogun. They find first blood on Brusco, and Kirk, he has no way to run, had to burn that flicker just to survive.
Yeah, and ONIC tried forcing their way in to the turtle pit, but again, there's a Hilda. You know, this guy's a walking Brian Kyle.
Oh, the Purify was burned, but not the knockup or the spatial migrations. What's that?
This is why you wanted to see. This is why you wanted to see the Guinevere.
Was that the Spear of Misery?
No, I don't know. He did use it.
Because he got knocked up, but not from the spatial migration.
Yes, Savero purified the stacks from the Gwyn, but then a Spear of Misery pushed him back for the combo. I didn't even know that worked that way.
Yeah, me neither. But then Kyle here in danger. ONIC finds the kill. The AOG making sure that Owen went down too.
Hey, the super fam claps back. Able to find 2.
This is what you get when you give all players all their comforts.
Yeah.
It comes down to execution battle. No macro, no outplay. Well, actually, a lot of outplaying.
Yeah.
It's just about pressing your buttons.
You gotta,
Not gonna analyze this game.
that's
Let's just let them press buttons. You know?
that's
Yeah.
just press buttons, you know? If analyzing was that easy, midnight, I don't think any of us would have a job.
That's true. That's true.
You know?
But again, this is like classic Falcons mode, right? Like when they feel like, okay, we're near the finish line, right? Even though this team likes macro so much, there comes a point in their career where it feels nice to brawl a bit, you know, just be aggressive. Especially, I remember S13 Grand Finals, Liquid versus Falcons. Like both teams had a mutual agreement. We just brawl, we just fight, no macro.
And that was during a time when the meta was very different, and it was so macro.
It was so
heavy,
macro.
Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, ever since it's changed and it's been a little more team fight centric, a little more brawly.
Yeah.
It's been really refreshing. And RWM will get a beacon out.
Yeah.
Too early, I think.
Flap went in though with the bravest fighter. Might get punished here. Kirk going in 2 with the Throne of Ruin. But the sustain from Flap is crazy. Landshaker on 2, and he's still alive. Uses the flicker, but goes down in the hands of King Kong. Whereas Kirk holds down 3 members all by himself.
Meanwhile, the whole time Super Marco was just pushing in. That looked like an awkward fight, and didn't seem like Team Falcons was sure on how they wanted to go. But whoa!
Oh,
AOG!
Kyle might have just wanted to look for a trade there, but those are tanky members of ONIC that he found.
Yeah, this is the same thing as the one earlier. The Alice and the got trouble. Now Owen has to move out.
King Kong has a Phantom Steed still.
Yeah.
Falcons do not want to fight that. He didn't even use that, I think.
Okay, maybe Falcons need to reset a bit. You know, the skirmishing brawly idea isn't really working out for them. The RWM came out too early from the Eve, and it allowed Kirk to just go punish front line. Oh.
Yeah, there was no guaranteed follow-up whatsoever from that. And even if they did flush them out of the turtle pit, okay, hold on, Severo gets knocked back again.
Oh, he goes back.
The BMI, and a bit of help from King Kong now.
Yeah, good thing King Kong was there. Great response from ONIC.
Yeah.
They gotta keep Severo alive to go ahead and continue to farm up on this Claude. He's gonna be pivotal for them to make this work. Brusco is gonna pick up a Radiant Armor first, locking in his first item though.
Yeah, I just want to be able to sit on top of the Alice, maybe poke some of the members here on the side of ONIC, because it feels like there's no angle anymore for Kyle. These jumps have always been dealt with by the AOG as well as the threat of the Throne of Ruin. Now with the Oracle, this changes a lot of things for ONIC. Kirk can now stand in the middle of the fight, but still they have to be worried about the damage output coming out from the Gwyn and then the Lapu. But that means Super Marco has a lot of weight on his shoulders right now.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case for both gold laners, honestly, at this point. And, you know, Marco is maintaining about a 600-700 gold lead ahead of Severo right now. That was also part and due for him just staying on the other side of the map while that last turtle broke out. And the turtle's going to be up here on their side this time, last one of the game. They'll fight through for it, but you can already see, you know, Flap's there, Marco's back on the other side to prep up for that exact moment. And so, again, if they don't keep control or tabs on Super Marco on this Moskov, he's going to go ahead and continue to put pressure, most likely taking down the tier 1. Might be the trade for this turtle here.
Yeah, it seems like they're not going to fight this. ONIC have complete control over this turtle pit, and they will secure the second, or actually the last objective of the game. I barely realized that there was already 3 objectives that spawned because of this brawly team fight heavy game that we've been seeing that feels so fast-paced.
We missed one, sorry, we saw the 3 turtles.
Okay.
Okay, he burns the flicker.
That's a beautiful 4-man stun that we got to see from Flap, but it won't really convert into anything. Flicker from Haji though, just to make sure that Super Frizz gets caught in the RWM!
Haji's looking for another MVP performance. They're going to fight it out here on the bottom side. Kyle does pick up a winner crown, but man, what a start and a push from Super Marco.
Man, a team of Falcons, Haji with that flicker. ONIC overstayed a bit. They could have gone mid, but because they stayed for bot lane. They had to wait for the next wave, and then Team Falcons just went for the punish because they know all the space in the world right now is everything for them. Now they allow Super Marco to farm up and take towers. Look at the gold. Super Marco is heading to that point.
Okay.
You had to have it happen if you're on it.
Yeah.
You had to take out Haji, man.
Yeah.
They knew he didn't have a flicker from the last fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just before that, Kyle stole away the purple buff from King Kong, though. And he's the one doing a bit of catching up in terms of level. Surprisingly, for Team Falcons, even though they're ahead.
Yeah, Kyle a little bit behind. Gets concentrated energy, though.
Yeah.
Wings for Flap.
It's all about Super Marco at this point. It's all about Moscow late game. ONIC, they still have advantage when it comes to head-on collision. Team fight 5v5 is still very good for their side, especially with the AOG and the Throne of Ruin. But Team Falcons, they have a specific way of playing this game. It's all about the split pushes, it's all about the pressure, and it's all about holding ONIC down with this real world manipulation coming out from Haji.
And Lord up. Oh, Severo shot down to half here.
Oh, Super Prince! He gets caught alongside Brusco. Had to use the AOG. Falcons are just so decisive whenever they see a target. It's always Haji laying down these perfectly timed RWMs.
Yeah, again, ONIC getting distracted, losing the important sites. Sticking together is what makes them a super family, and because Team Falcons is able to split them up with the pressure on the top side, they get to find pickups.
Oh, Flap jumping in. They're gonna force the fight.
Okay. Severo will be here anytime soon, though.
Oh,
but
God.
Clark gets taken out first! And now they also fight Brusco! King Kong and Severo, together with Prince, might not want to contest this first Lord anymore!
Team Falcons fought for the Lord. They got a couple bodies and the objective.
The super family is crumbling down. Disconnected plays from ONIC Philippines. And now Team Falcons gets to capitalize. They're the ones who are grouping up.
Oh, Severo had to dodge that. Falcons are just pushing forward. Another RWM Super Prince 2 going in with the Crimson Beacon, but they might find a punish. Flap might go down first, but it's ONIC making sure that they fight back. King Kong on a killing spree, just pushing forward. Open goes next. There's a winner crown from Kyle, but King Kong finds a double just in time. Kyle will try to run away using the retribution, but Severo gets to take him out.
See what I mean? The family that fights together, wins together. ONIC with the perfect layering of spells. AOG into the Throne of Ruin with a blazing duet from Severo. Finishes down Falcons.
They overstepped. They soared too close to the sun on that one. They didn't have to go in and make this happen. Look what happens to Flap. Great lantern from Super Friends, forcing Falcons to react. And that gave the clear sign, the clear way for King Kong to go to the back line.
Yeah, this whole sequence, again, man, this is a proper fight for ONIC. You just group up, layer your skills together. Doesn't have to be against the Moscow, doesn't have to be against anybody. Pick a fight, pick a lane, you go for the play. That is what ONIC wants. And Team Falcons has been splitting them up.
Oh man, what a beautiful team fight and defense.
Yep.
ONIC found themselves in, giving them some breathing room into this game, because if that was more of a disciplined approach from Team Falcons, just take the tier 2 out, you got a Lord, great, you know, you've got this lead building up, then it wouldn't have been anything much for ONIC. But after that team fight, now you set yourself up for the next Lord in about a minute.
Yeah, because ONIC and their rundown capabilities are no joke, I feel. Especially if Falcons already lose their box. Because at that moment, I feel like they've already expended majority of their resources that could have been the advantage for them if they were able to force the fight in their terms, but that was not the case. ONIC knew that they no longer had these key resources, so they just kept running through them.
Yeah, again, this is where the push and pull starts, right? For Team Falcons, the way they start the fight is you split them up first. You split up the family, and then you go for look for SOD plays, RWM, and then a combo with Kyle to dish out the necessary damage and find look for pickoffs. But for ONIC, it's as simple as pick a target, pick a lane, let's go and fight. So this next objective, this is big for both sides. For Falcons, top lane control is of utmost importance, but for ONIC, they can just look for a brute force.
Yeah, let's see what they end up doing here. Again, 108 on ONIC's side, of course.
Yeah, the nerves.
Yeah, the nerves there.
The nerves. especially after that fight.
He looks so calm, but he's 100 plus BPM.
Yeah, you cannot hide it.
You know, again, they're facing this potential game to get sent out of the playoffs here, and now
top side.
this Lord is here. Super Marco's still on that top side. This could be a massive team fight to break out for this Lord. With the entrance of Super Marco, half health on the Lord here. They're going to go ahead and full commit.
Wait, they're already somewhat have HP! Oh my goodness, the timing of the land shaker and the retribution from Kyle! Rusko might be going out first, but Kyle fighting a two-man spatial migration. Could it be enough though? ONIC are ruffling. Kirk going in. He's trying to sustain as much as he can. But you see them fall one by one.
Marco's too good with it. On the Moskov, and ONIC loses a fight that they needed for the Lord.
They didn't even use the Purify on Super Marco. He committed to go inside the fight. He knew there was nothing left on the tank of ONIC. And Kyle with the jump as well. Now they're looking to break the base of ONIC.
They have the Lord with them. Savero has the blazing duet. But what would be the call? It's a 5-man attempt from Falcons. They're gonna try to work on Brusco first. Phantom Steed! They find the kill on Ogwen. Falcons are not gonna force. Fist comes in with the Crimson Beacon, and they're gonna find Flap! King Kong's unstoppable!
The Super Fam stays alive. They're fighting with all they have.
You gotta split up the map, but inside the house of ONIC, it's kind of hard to split up the family. Team Falcons, once again, they have to do the setup. They have to play for the next Lord fight. But ONIC, again, as you've said nicely, they stay alive. It comes down to execution. Again, same story. Top lane is the name of the game for Falcons. Moscow things, but ONIC, they're looking to brute force.
Oh, Kirk.
Man.
Kirk is getting bursted down! Gets to escape though. He'll be okay. And they lose the real world manipulation.
Oh, that's a big resource.
They got it out. There's still plenty of time for the next Lord to come up. Haji will have it available. Some of the flickers as well for Team Falcons. Crucial here. ONIC, though, give it up to them to be able to keep holding on into this game when Team Falcons has secured 2 Lords and was knocking on their base.
This is going to be a massive team fight for this next Lord fight. Everybody will have everything. All the battle spells, all the items, the buy-in sells. I mean, not roams. Roams are kind of still poor in this game, but they have all the things that they need. The revitalizes, the AOGs. Actually, just the revitalize. That's just one.
Yeah, man. It's one of those games where, despite all of it, again, what's on the line here? Team Falcons, I think they're playing a little messy trying to approach the base because they see what's in front of them, man.
Yeah.
The grand finals and a trip to Paris for EWC 2026. They have to stay calm and collected.
Yep.
And time again, for every Lord, for every objective, it's been the same template. Put Marco on the other side of the map, let him join the fight. Last time it worked out, he jumped right in, following through the SOD with the Wind of Nature. Well, now, maybe ONIC has a plan for that.
Yeah, and what better way to exemplify this entire idea of enduring legacy if not by bringing back this entire Titans of mlbb era, or if not an evolved version of it. But ONIC are going to push forward. They do use the conceal. They just scout a bit of information though as to where Falcons are currently positioned at.
It's a reset on top side though. There's no minion waves
They're
there.
going to have to reset Lord at half health here. Look at Kyle's positioning. He jumps!
Oh, Kirk is actually gonna go for Flap!
No, Kyle.
Flap was the option actually for this one. King Kong! They get enough space to work on the Lord! Super Marco landing the SOD is gonna go in. Now they're gonna work on Brusco, and they find Super Prince! Brusco still escapes with the AOG, but Falcons, they find one in exchange of the Lord!
Oh man, Falcons, they want to go all in. There's
go in.
no Zoshin.
They're going to clear out this Lord. They're going to clear out the turret. But it's going to take some time to do it. Team Falcons, numbers advantage. But I don't know if they can finish it. There's still a wave in mid. They're going to go for it. Super Marco waiting for the wave on bot. Team Falcons, they can't let this one slip through their hands again.
Okay, there's another wave in bot. Haji picked up a Winter Crown just now too.
Go back out,
No,
just the turret.
Okay.
The most disciplined choice. that
Oh,
Team
man.
Falcons make so far with the Lord takes here. Everybody in San Juan Arena is on the edge of their seats right now.
Yeah, things are getting a bit messier for both sides. The Spear of Misery landing on Super Prince couldn't flicker out, but even then, Kyle with that spatial migration caught in a very weird angle, and because of that, ONIC had enough time to just burst down the Lord. And Team Falcons, even though they lost the Lord, they wanted to go for the punish because of the numbers advantage, but now we go to a full reset. Again, same thing. It's now a map reset. Both teams will have everything by the time the Lord spawns. Fortunately enough for Team Falcons, they were able to take out the tower on the bot side, so they still have Lord Prio.
Oh man, look at this replay. Kyle just did not get the set he was looking for with the spatial migration, and that was not a team fight that was in their favor, but they still end up making something happen out of it.
Yeah, honestly, that engage from Kirk, I kind of took my time trying to process because it was a Throne of Ruin just on Flap. But the thing is, Flap is the guy to go in first, so it was quite understandable if you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
And along with Flap were the other members surrounding him as well, so he more or less blocked off whatever Falcons could have done just because of that single Throne of Ruin flicker play that Kirk did. And ONIC were just so quick to work on the objective as well, so these were just really good calls that the Super Fam have decided to make now that we're approaching the 20-minute mark of the game.
Yeah, this is, I honestly feel like this series, this is the perfect point in the game. You know, it's game 6, hopefully maybe we get a game 7, I don't know, but this has been a slow-cooked meal throughout the entire series. You know, very one-sided games early on, game 1 and game 2. Gets a little more even through game 3 onward up to this point where it's anybody's game down to the next Lord and it'll be evolved.
Yeah, and you look at the heart rates on the players right now. Team Falcons as a lower average, I might say, because again, they do have Lord Prior, they have all the advantage in the world, the slow push as well, having the Moskov.
Base turrets down.
Yeah, base turrets down, but ONIC, they still have a massive team fight advantage as long as they pick the right targets and they go at the good time. The Team Falcons, again, they have this perfect Lord setup. Nobody from the side of ONIC can actually just brute force their way in. Oh, never mind. Super Prince is correct. They find an angle. They force the Lapo ulti.
Wait, yeah, he used the Bravest Fighter
They see Severo down bot.
backwards, but Falcons, knowing that, are still gonna try and exchange blows with ONIC.
Okay, okay, they've done this against Aurora. They forced the 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the 50-50. They got everyone here half health on the Lord for it. Kyle potentially looking for King Kong. It goes for a reset,
And the
though.
bottom lane too.
Bottom lane's going to be pushing. Someone from ONIC has to go deal with this.
God.
Team Falcons knows this advantage that they have.
What is Marco gonna do? Okay.
Okay, it's, this is the push and pull.
Kyle?
Oh my goodness, Kyle! He's gonna find one. The SOD2 is gonna land. It's gonna be Super Prince of an unfortunate first kill for this sequence. ONIC using the AOG still to re-engage. They're going in for the full commit, but that might not be what they want. The minions are coming in the base, and they've already lost 2 members. Owen going in with the flicker. They're still gonna try to cut them off, but 3 members of ONIC have made their return to the base.
They're down 2 members.
Severo?
Team Falcons. Severo goes in.
Kirk chasing as well, but he gets knocked off, and the violent Brick Whip finishes him off. King Kong, can he do this alone?
He's got him. It's Severo with immortality. It's over.
The much-awaited return to the world stage. Redemption in their hands. Team Falcons have made it after more than a year of being stuck on the ground. They are headed towards the grand finals and to MSC.
A titanic performance from Team Falcons as they soar high to look for the clash of titans in the strongest region in mlbb as they soar and secure the tickets to Paris.
Team Falcons fought hard through the regular season to this point, through the playoffs. They felt the defeat of a sweep against ONIC, and they come back and win an amazing series to punch that ticket to tomorrow's fight against the final boss of MPL Philippines. And yes, they secured the tickets to Paris, but the job's not done for Team Falcons.
GG's to ONIC Philippines for making it this far and for putting up such a great fight, a great series overall that we've seen between them and Team Falcons. This season, for this new version of the Super Fam was no joke. Severo introduced himself strongly and he stayed that way all throughout.
Oh man, again, the nature of competition, the nature of this tournament, you have to say goodbye to some teams. And unfortunately, it's for ONIC Philippines, the Super Fam. One hell of a season though. The first team to bring in an import into the MPL Philippines to have an amazing run. Severo, I think he just won the hearts of many Filipinos here in the Philippines and just fans around the world. The Super Fam should be able to hold their head high on this note, but you know damn well they want to come back next season stronger. We're going to go ahead and send it over to stage to get the GGWP to ONIC.
ML Super fans, they delivered a brave fight and gave brilliant brave comeback from a lot of games. But unfortunately, the road of ONIC Philippines will end right here. Now, Brusco, nakita ng lahat.
Brusco,
Nilaban yung game.
everyone saw how much you fought for that game.
Para kayong dumaan sa butas ng karayo.
The late nights,
So ngayon, ano
it feels like you've been through too much.
ng ONIC Philippines? Ano ang message mo
What is your message
ngayon?
to your teammates?
Messages to teammates ko, grateful ako kasi
My message to my teammates is that I'm grateful because
yung ano,
they were my teammates
proud ako
and I'm proud.
Proud ako sa kanila.
I'm proud of them.
Lagi akong ano, tutulungan sa mga
That they always help me
nagagawin ako ganun.
and that we always help each other.
Grateful talaga ako.
And that fight is something to be proud of, Denise.
Amen.
Grabe, puso at tapang.
There's a lot of heart and bravery.
Very emotional here right now, super fans.
It's very emotional here now. For
How proud of you are you sa boys? Alam kong it's very heartbreaking for you.
I know it's very heartbreaking.
Silver linings. Grabe yung pusong pinakita nyo.
There are a lot of silver linings. You showed a lot of heart.
Gaano ka proud ka?
How proud are you of your team?
Proud ako sa team.
I'm super proud of my team because
Regular season, walang naniniwala sa
from the regular season, no one believed in us, but
super proud ako.
we made it here, so I'm super proud.
Now, Severo,
Severo,
I would like to congratulate you dahil grabe yung pinakita mo for your first season here in the MPL Philippines. Marami. Everybody here is so amazed with what you've shown. What do you want to say to all the MPL super fans?
Makasih buat yang udah dukung, makasih buat yang kalian MPL PH sama ONIC PH juga welcome gue, support gue. Walaupun sorry buat Sonic semua karena hasilnya nggak sesuai ekspektasi. Makasih buat semua yang udah dukung.
Maraming salamat po daw sa mga sumuporta at dumating.
thank you so much to all the supporters.
Salamat rin sa
And
MPLPH.
thank you so much to MPLPH.
Salamat rin po sa
And thank you so much to the ONIC PH who continue to believe in me.